Welcome in, everyone. It's a Wednesday. Yay, ha! Hi, Maddie! 2 miles. Wow, how long did it take you? Hi, Silver. Hi, Juice. Hi, Laggy. Hi, Warlock. Hi, Foogie. Juice Box. My bad, not Juice. Juice Box. And then Juice. Hi, Juice. Happy lurking, Silver. 5 to 7 hours, dang. I have no concept of distance. So when someone says 2 miles, no idea what that means. You need to be like, I walked from place that I know to other place that I know. It's still like kilometers still don't yeah. It's like I walked from the farmlands all the way to the airport. Then hello. Today I thought I was gonna start earlier because I thought that I had puppets at the park today. But there was no puppets at the park. It's next week. Next week is the puppets. One end of a Walmart to the other, like the full other side. Whoa. It's like being in a Toys R Us as a kid. That place is crazy. My favorite thing about Toys R Us was that they kept all the stock out in the open. Mostly. So, like, you just have towers of all the stock and huge ceilings, and it was like never ending. Or at least it was in my Toys R Us, the one that I grew up in. But I walked it over 3 walks. Whoa. A lot of walking. It's like those ladies that walk around the mall. Mall walkers. Ooh! I can picture that. I think I can picture that. That's a good visual, Warlock. I like that. Oh, that's good. I can see that. I'm that like football field type of person. But then I forget how big a football field is, so it has to be like a soccer. Wait, are soccer fields and football fields the same size? Are soccer fields and soccer fields are wider, but they're still the same length. Yeah, there's too many measurements. Okay, we got it, guys. I have amazing news. Amazing, wonderful, crazy news. So, as you can see in the title that I misspelt when I first started, I have another job interview, but this time I'm feeling much better about it, and they're giving me a couple days to prep for it, and it's like a wait. Guess what it is? Guess what it is? I don't know. It's one of those jobs that I think if I got it, it'd be great and awesome, but if I didn't get it, it'd be like, that's all right. Not a librarian. It's a different thing. I have to study first. I need to take classes to be a librarian. This one's crazy. It's really relevant to our streams recently. Super relevant to a particular redeem. A particular sound redeem. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. Not the Vine Boom. Not something to do with pets. Not something to do with translation. Laggy is going through all the sound things.
Wow.
Wow. Which one seems like
It's cheese o'clock somewhere.
it's cheese o'clock somewhere. It's a cheese maker. Cheese maker. The job's a cheese maker. It's cheese o'clock somewhere. Whoa. How do you get a job like that? Well, you send in a resume and then they ask you for an interview. No, I don't think it's illegal to send cheese. Is it? I don't know. I'm not in that business yet. Yeah, though they have, because I live kind of like in farmlands, so it makes sense that there's like smaller businesses that do stuff like this. So yeah, it's a cheesemaker. It showed up on my job search thing like last night, and I was like, you know what? Why not? I can make cheese. I would love to learn cheese. I would love to learn science of cheese. And so I applied, and then this morning I got a text from them through the messaging app part, and they were like, "Hey, what made you want to apply?" And I was like, "You know what? Excitement." And to be completely honest, excitement, and I enjoy doing things that are extremely repetitive, like making cheese. And they were like, "All right, here's the interview date. It's on Friday." Hi, Jojo! Jojo, guess what? I've got a job interview as a cheesemaker. What if I get the job? I do have a lot of experience making ube. That is good. That's good. In Minecraft, all what I do is make things. And I made cheese in Minecraft. Gotta send you some Gouda. Make you some cheese mold. Cheese mold. If I get the job, I think I'll be really excited. I think it'd be really fun to learn. I know I'm also gonna get really buff. You know that, right? I'm gonna get so buff because I have to churn butter. I gotta churn butter. I get to sit down and churn butter. This is the ideal job. I think this is the best. This is the best. It's so... I'm gonna get buff. I'm gonna churn butter. Cheese to meet you. I'm gonna say it's cheese o'clock somewhere, and it'll be great. I'm really excited, guys. But what I need your advice. I do need your advice. When they say if they ask me what's my weakness, I don't know what to say. I don't know what the proper reply is. Caring too much for people. I guess that could work, right? I care too much for people in the sense that I feel really bad and I overwork myself to help. Not taking the boss's wallet. The proper reply is a fake negative. Best responses for what is your weakness? Really? Is that what you said? Did it go over well? You're like, you care too much about people, so you take a lot of their workload to try and help. Struggling with delegation. Overcommitting or difficult saying no. That's a good one, yeah. Fear of public speaking. That's a good one because lots of people do have a fear of public speaking. What I said is a fake negative. It makes it sound like you're saying it's a bad thing. In reality, it's what the job wants you to do. Yeah. Should I say like too self-sufficient? Too self-sufficient. That is also a good one and also accurate to me. Make me some cheese. What kind of cheese do you want? Apparently the place is famous for their cheese curds. Too self-sufficient can make it sound like you aren't open to teamwork or intervention from other members. Except you would spend the rest of the thing talking about how you would overcome it, right? So you'd be like, I'm self-sufficient, but I've been working on doing email updates with other people on the job. Make sure. Cheese curd! Yeah! Cheese curd is so yummy. You get it, Jojo. You get it. You're from Canada too. I haven't had to interview in like 3 years, and I love it because interviews are scary. I haven't had to interview since I got this job, which was like, I don't even know, like almost 10 years ago. But I always enter job interviews the same way I used to enter tests, which is like, well, what happens happens. I'll like read some stuff and then have like vague ideas in the back of my head, but never like too over prepared. In fact, probably under prepared despite kind of reading stuff about it, because I'm like the vibe check is the most important part. It's gotta, like, I don't know, it's such a big vibe check for me and for them. I'm really good with vibe checks. So if I enter and the vibe's off, I'm not gonna take the job. Because if I'm gonna be doing this, I need to be able to do it. And then I'm due so bad because I don't like talking. Aww. You can, I think the best thing, it's rough for people with like social anxiety and like just talking in general. Like, granted, I haven't had an interview since I started streaming, and I'm like good at streaming now. Like, I want to say I'm good, but like I'm good at talking to myself, kind of. So at least that kind of helps. Losing your marbles. You can't get any jobs. That's okay, Warlock. That was like, I don't know how many jobs I had applied to before they replied. And I want to like, what sucks is like, I want to be that person. If I'm against somebody who's like, yeah, man, I live in the farm, I want to be a cheesemaker. You know, like someone's like, I've dreamed of being a cheesemaker my whole life. Versus me, who's like, I saw it on the app and I thought, you know what? This is awesome. I should do that. You know, how do I make me better than them? You know? Maybe they're gonna hire multiple people, but like how do I make myself sound or more appealing than someone who wants their dreams to come true? You know? You're young, spunky, and ready to learn more to expand your horizon. Learn about cheeses and ages and famous cheeses. We'll do some cheese sabotage. We'll learn about like, I'll learn about cheese on stream, and then we'll do like cheese. I bet they'll ask. That'll be one of the questions. Hold on, what should my answer be? They'll be like, so how much do you know about cheese? That's probably gonna be one of their questions. 100%. Eat all the kinds of cheese and talk about them caught. I could say, well, in the making of cheese. Well, how do I say nothing at all without sounding bad? Like, I know cheese exists. I see you guys are good at cheese curds. I too love cheese curds. I've tried to make cheese once in the past. Didn't turn out very well. Eat all the kinds of cheese. Havarti. Not as much as I'm gonna know when you hire me. Whoa! That's good, Juice. That's really good. That's huge. That's a good. So like, well, hopefully more once I get taught. And then I'll say, but to be honest, not very much. Started off with a little joke. Not as much as I'm gonna know under your guidance kind of thing, and then be like, well, not as much as I wish I did. I'm packed full of curiosity and eagerness. I once milked a cow and forgot about it, and it turned into cheese. I think you're supposed to... Honestly, I don't even know how cheese is made. I'm gonna look this up. I should know how cheese is made. How is cheese made? Rennet. Right. We use rennet. I learned that in Minecraft. Collecting milk from dairy farms. Goes to the cheese plant. That's where I'm cheese plant. The milk undergoes strict quality and purity tests. Once approved, the milk is filtered and standardized, meaning the milk fat, cream, and or protein content is adjusted. Pasteurization. Pasteurized. Maybe this isn't part of the cheese. I think maybe we receive the milk once it's been, like, good milk. Good bacteria or starter cultures are added to the milk. Ooh. Ferment the lactose. Wow. Rennet is introduced. Rennet is an enzyme that causes milk to thicken and form into a gel-like consistency, similar to yogurt. This is the first step in separating the curds from the whey. The curds from the whey. The amount of rennet and time needed for it to separate into curds can vary from cheese to cheese. Gaming is useful. Curd cutting and whey separation? I think they spelled whey wrong. Once it starts to gel, the cheesemakers cut it, which allows the whey to come out. The cutting process allows more whey to escape, creating firmer curds. The curds are then stirred and gently heated, further releasing whey and concentrating the solids. Drier cheeses are often cut to form smaller curds, so more of the moisture comes out. Wow. Okay. This is what... They asked me about cheese. I'll supply them with my cheese knowledge that I've just read. Cheese is made from quality pasteurized milk with cultures put in, rennet, and then separating the whey and the curds. And then they're pressed into molds and brines. Wait, so the brines is what makes the cheese the different kinds of cheese? Interesting. Wait, there's a video about cheese making.
Fortunate. On a pressure than this either. Nothing is in a giant vat.
Whoa.
Friendly bacteria are added, and the
great taste, best cheese.
You think I'm gonna have to mix
behind this operation?
Here, the way to test it is squeeze it
on each side of the vat until the remaining liquid drains out. Stack and salt.
Over.
Wow. Cheese. Cheese. Can we watch? I closed it. I zoomed through it really fast. Basically, here, I'll describe it for you. Imagine a cafeteria table, okay? Now imagine that cafeteria table was actually stainless steel and like a tank, like a container, a vat, one might say, but in the shape of the cafeteria table. Like a box without the top. And then within that container, in length and size, it's filled with milk. And the milk is there, and then they put all the cultures and the stuff into it, and then they got some guys with big old sticks, and they're mixing it up. And then one of the guys reached in briefly and pulled out some curds, then he squeezed it, and then he was like, check it out. In the description, it said that you're gonna get sweaty. So I think it's gonna be a real workout, but I can do it. I'm just worried that they'll like not hire me based off. That's one of the things. It's like it sucks because the jobs that I really want to do that are repetitive like that tend to like need some sort of muscle mass, and when you look at me, I'm like a toothpick. You just had a tour of the rat cave, so I think you're qualified. Yeah, exactly. I know all about cheese, goat cheese, buffalo cheese, Lampas cheese. I could say my grandparents did own a vineyard. So it's not the same, but it's kind of the same. What's wrong with being a toothpick? People judge you. They're like, well, you're a toothpick. Are you going to be able to mix cheese? And I'll be like, maybe not very well at first, but I'll get better. You just have to watch me beef up. Come beef up. Women are jealous of skinny women. I know they are, but in a job like this, they need to know. Like on the thing, it should be able to lift 50 pounds, and I don't know what that is. I gave you uppies, but you're a frog. That's different. Frogs are like not as heavy. How many pounds you cut out? I don't know. I don't know. But I lift lots of boxes at work, so I feel like that can help. But like, just nervous. Parmesan wheels are nearly 100 pounds. I don't think we're gonna have Parmesan wheels. But if they do, it didn't really say that in the job description. It said churn butter. That was the biggest thing. Churning butter and cleaning. A case of water is like 30 pounds. Oh, I guess I can lift a case of water. Which isn't 50 pounds, but it's almost there. I just need muscular endurance. Yeah, I need muscular endurance. How do I get muscular endurance? Aside from doing this job. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope range. Wow, 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 wow. Push-ups, planks, exercises that require constant effort on that muscle. Workout. But what kind of working out? Warlock, that helps. I'll do planks. I'll start planking every day until my interview, which is in 2 days. My 2 days from now interview. I have to pick out my clothes. And it's an early morning and I work that early morning. So I'm gonna have to like come home and like quickly change. I might call in, but I don't know. Push-ups are for your deltoids, triceps, and chest. Okay, maybe I do have to do push-ups. Remember when I did push-ups on stream that one time? I was dying. That was funny. Okay, it's been a half an hour. How many did I do? I think 20, but I had to separate them. I think I did like 3. I didn't do it all at once. It was separated. I had to take breaks in between. But it probably wasn't like a good push-up though, you know what I mean? Wait, I'm gonna do one right now. Is that a good idea in my burning heart? Abby just had a baby. That's allowed. Hold on. Can you still hear me? Oh, hear me? On the ground. It's so hard. Yeah. Are your elbows supposed to go? Are your elbows supposed to go out or in? Which direction? Push. Yeah. Oh, I think I'm doing them wrong. Oh. Let me try the other one. I'm better at the one where it's more inward. Still really bad though. I'll have to start training against the wall. I gotta work out for the cheese. Against the wall? Yeah, that's how they say that if you can't do a push-up, you start against the wall and you do like a certain number of reps, and then after that you do it against a table, and then after that you do it against the lower part of your couch, and after that you do it like, you know, like you slowly work your way down. I am like that much pounds. That's probably the exact amount that I weigh. How do you know? I'll be honest, it's probably exactly how much I weigh right now. That's kind of spooky. You just be knowing. Digno! Yeah, see, I'm telling you guys, that's why I'm worried. Then again, I did get hired to do stalking, so I don't know. Oh my gosh, twinsies! Yo! One time a streamer opened a wrapper and I knew it was a chocolate
Breeze knocked you down.
Okay, to be fair, some core like protein bars have such a distinct wrapper. It's weird. Ooh, Shabriz knock you down. That's what they say. It's true though. That's what happens. When I'm on a ferry, it's really quite scary because I might get blown off. and fly into the water and drown. It's over. See, this is what I'm saying. They're gonna look at me and they're gonna be like, is she really gonna be able to churn butter? But then again, kids churn butter on the farm. It's hard. I also need muscle mass. True. I'll come in with like those weights on my wrist, being like, I'm working out right now, actually. That's how dedicated I am to the job. $2,000 calories a day. I need mass. Yeah, I guess you're right. The Goku method. I'll just go Super Saiyan. Okay. I ate 6K calories one day in a 12-piece fried chicken form and wanted to die. I didn't eat for 4 days after that. He has weight clothing, so he's always training. Oh, yeah, I should do that. Maybe I should do that. Wrist ways. Like Deku in My Hero Academia when he's using those like crunchy thingies, you know? The hand things. I don't like eating. Eating sucks. Eating sucks. It's boring. That's why I wish I could eat like a dog. Everything in like kibble form, and then I just had to eat it. That's why calorie mates are the best invention in the world. I love calorie mates, but they're so expensive to ship here. Calorie mate. Just eat some McDonald's. That's expensive. Do you know how expensive McDonald's is these days? I ain't got money for that. I ain't got money for that. Ooh, children dance sandbags. That's perfect for me. I'm a child. Training for dance practice.
Get a nuggie.
What if I play Deadlock with weighted wrists? If you game with weighted wrist, are you working out or not? That's me! Apple! Especially if it's like fast, you know? You're like, you're moving your wrist around a lot. Typing. Beat Saber. True, Beat Saber. But Beat Saber's like already a workout game. It'll just make it easier to move your mouse faster? Why? Oh, do you like sprinting? I like sprinting because I have to run really fast for a very short amount of time. Like, I don't like long running. Guys, have I ever told you? Wait, I'm gonna confess something that I've never confessed before. So when I was in high school, I was part of a fitness class. It was, I don't know why. I think I just did it because I was like, may as well like learn, right? Like, it's important. I should learn about fitness. So I took a fitness class, and part of the fitness class was a final big project where you created your own workout routine to hit a specific goal that you wanted to hit. So I had like a certain amount of like how to sprint a certain amount in a certain amount of time. And then I had one where it was like to be able to jog through one of the whole runs. Like we had like a trail by our school, and for gym usually it would be like, oh yeah, it's a run day, so go do the run. But I would always have to stop and walk it. So one of my goals was that I would jog the whole thing without walking. And on the very last day, I needed to have it completed. So I was like, I don't know what the distance was, but I had been getting better and I almost did it, but then but then I didn't. And I started walking and I was like, dang, I can't say that I didn't do it. Like, she's expecting me to have done it. I'm not showing improvement. So I went in and I told her, I was like, I did it. I didn't stop once. And she was so happy. She's like, I can really see it in your eyes. Your eyes, they're glowing. And I was like, yeah. So I always think about that because if I'm enthusiastic enough, I feel like I could lie my way through things. I lied to her. But in my defense, I was a teenager and I was rebellious and depressed and edgy. Do you feel terrible still? No. I don't feel terrible for that. Liar! Mostly because it was high school. If it was like a college course or something, and it wasn't like a bad lie or anything, I think I would have been more guilty had she not been like, I can really see it in your eyes that you completed it and you feel accomplished. Like the fact that she could like quote unquote see it. My best friend was in that course with me and she was like, really? You did it? And I could tell that she didn't believe me, but she was like, yeah. So funny. Ooh. Still never got the rebellious thing for teenagers because I never did become rebellious and probably won't for the last 2 years. I'm a teen. It really depends. I was like rebellious in not the normal rebellious way, like the TV rebellious way, the media rebellious way, more just like edgy. The depression. Okay, guys. I was supposed to start reading 10 minutes ago. So, today we're gathered here to read Warrior Cats. We didn't get to read very much Warrior Cats the last time because what was it? It was too hot or something. Something like that. And then I was busy. Wait, did we read last week? It was last week, right? I think it was last week. I don't know, I didn't actually check. This week was Canada Day, right? I just choked on my spit. So it was 2 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago it was too hot, and I was really hot. And I had to stop because I was dying. I remembered I was supposed to prep for a 5-kilometer run at the end of the school year. I didn't do any prep and just ran my life away. Oh my gosh. Jojo, you're just like me. I never can prep anything. I think it's ADHD. I can't do it. I just can't do it. The only thing that I've ever done, like really studied for and really prepped for, was when I was in an astronomy. Yeah, astronomy, and one of the other students had like an old exam from the course with the answers. Like, it was like 10 years old or something like that. So he's like, you can use this to help you study. And so he had like distributed it to everyone in the class. And that was the one thing that I studied that thing so well, because it was like, okay, I don't actually have to, like, I have a goal, like a specific thing to memorize. And it's everything on this test sheet. And then when we got the test, it was almost exactly the same thing. And I was like, okay. I've been waiting to gossip about Alderpaw and Needlepaw. Yes. I used to have to run 5 to 8 kilometers 3 times a week in the past 3 years. Dang. Doing it hung over. That's rough. I don't think I've ever been hungover before. Which is good. I don't like the concept of it. Okay. Is not prepping for things an ADHD thing? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Thank you for the follow, Alex. It's like, why not? Okay, I was briefly, after I went to my friend's wedding, I was like, why don't I was like, I understand why wine ants exist, because it's easy to get influenced by the alcohol with wine. The only issue is when I did it, I got really bad acid reflux. So I was like, well, this sucks. So almost wine ant no, and then I have acid reflux. So it didn't work. It didn't work. Like, it could be ADHD. I think it was the ADHD because I procrastinated everything. It had to be like, I could only do it if it was the night before and I had no option to not do it. I had to have absolutely no other option to not do it. When I was studying in college, my creative writing courses, every day that you didn't hand in work, it took you down half a grade mark. And when that was the option, when that was given to me as an option, it made me procrastinate more, because I was like, I'm good enough that I can get an A on this. I can risk losing half a grade on this this story. So I'm gonna wait another day before I do it. Kind of thing. Or if I'm like, oh, I mean, I could get a B on this. That's all right. So I would like count how many days it would take to get a B if I had gotten an A, and then I would hand it in on that day. I don't get hungover because you don't drink. I don't really drink either, because I only drink like every now and again when I have alcohol that's available to me. And even then, it depends, because I don't like drinking alone, and then it's like boring. It's like, it's the only fun thing about drinking is when you're goofing off with other people, in my opinion. I think that's the only fun thing. So even if like you're the only one drinking, if you have someone around who's also there to like have fun with, then it's fun. Social drinker, no. Yeah. I do stupid stuff when I drink. I've rebuilt an engine while drunk. I'm very clingy and affectionate. Happy and happy. Yeah. Do that too. I don't want to let my friends go, yeah! Or even like people I don't, like I met that day. I'm like, wow, you're like my best friend right now. That's the kind of vibe I give off. I think my sister is the same. My sister drinks a lot more than me. Like, a lot more than me. But she's like one of those people where she's like, yeah, I was at the bar the other day and I met this girl at the bar, and she had like really beautiful hair. And so I asked her I told her that her hair looked beautiful, and we got into like this really deep conversation about like hair care. And I'm like, oh, I get addicted to things easily, so I'm very avoidant of substances. I do too, but here's the thing. Alcohol doesn't taste good. So the fact that there's like that hurdle for me to get to the part where I get like tipsy and happy and fun times, the hurdle is too big. I cannot see past that hurdle. You know how some people are like, "Oh yeah, we just chug it because we don't like the taste, but like we want it, so we just get over it. Like we just drink it really fast." Can't do it. I can't do it. It's too much. The flavor point especially of gin. I like rum. I like rum and whiskey. Friend Honey Whiskey would like a word. Far too sweet for me. I should have honey whiskey. I take my whiskey neat. We had like this maple rum in the house for a while, and it was so yummy. Guys, if you ever get maple rum from Canada, good stuff. Tried peanut butter whiskey. That's so weird. Wait, that's so weird. Was it called a screwball? The peanut butter whiskey? The taste, yeah. That's why cocktails are like the best, because they taste yummy and cute. They taste cute. My grandfather owns 70-year-old rum with a worm and a Mary Jane soaked in the bottom. It's powerful stuff. Oh my god, the worm. What's a Mary Jane? Rum with Mary Jane. Is it like a weed? It is a weed. That's what I thought. I also don't like fizzy drinks because it makes my mouth feel weird. I like fizzy drinks because it makes my mouth feel weird. My favorite thing about fizzy drinks is, I was trying to explain this to my friend, and I don't know if it came across correct, but it was like when you can drink a soda and you want to chew. Like you put it in your mouth and it's so bubbly that you like you know what I mean? If I can't do that, it's not fizzy enough. I don't know, I was out with a few friends, someone brought rounds, so I just drank. Like to clarify, I drink social, like, so like never. Relatable. Sparkling water, delicious, delicious. I love Pop Rocks. Pop Rocks are so good. Pop Rocks are the opposite though. If you chew Pop Rocks, they get like gummy and stuck in your teeth, and then you can't experience the pop. They don't make them like they used to, guys. Soda pop isn't as fizzy anymore, and it sucks. It's evil. It's disappointing. I don't want to drink soda pop that I don't want to chew. Yeah, you noticed it too. No, it's soda pop. Don't you guys have joy in your lives? Don't you guys love life? Don't you? Yeah, Milo soda pop. Na 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 na. Oh, my soda pop, my little soda pop. Hi, Caddy!
Soda SODA.
I despise that song. No. Yeah, I did say soda. You don't like the movie? Really? Did you like it before it went viral? I liked it before it. I mean, I still like it, but I don't like. Really? Interesting. K-pop demon hunters. K-pop demon hunters. Hi, Joey! Also, Lucky, thank you for the repop. Pop, 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 pop. What did it? Wait, does Snicklesfish still give us sarcastic answers? No, he doesn't. Sadly. He's not here anymore. Because I couldn't figure out a way to do it without using ChatGPT, and I don't want to use ChatGPT. Ham and cheese sandwich. Diet Pepsi, speaking of soda pop. I watched it because my girl Arden was in there and thought it was great. Who is your girl Arden? Ask Reddit. I'm not gonna act like it sucks, just gender and different target audience. True. No, are you old enough to remember the Canadian bacon thing Americans used to obsess over? I am! Everyone would be like, oh, it's so good. It's not even ham. It's just a different cut of the bacon. I mean, okay, it's not, I mean, it is ham because it's from a pig, but it's just the cut of the bacon. It's a circle part of it. Back bacon. Yeah. Back bacon. Yeah, it is back bacon. I remember when everyone was going crazy and they were like, you haven't had bacon until you've had Canadian bacon. And then it was like something we were kind of famous for a while. And then people started realizing that it wasn't that good. It wasn't that much better. It was just like another thing. I don't like it because I couldn't get it to taste like how I wish. I like my bacon really fatty. I like really fatty bacon that isn't crispy. Oh, chose Rumi's VA. Fat. I remember my socioeconomics teacher used to teach us Canadian live. What? Why? I don't even think people live in them anymore. Everything's so modernized. Even like in really secluded areas in the north, they have buildings. I do, Juice. I do. But not like chew on my hand, more like bite things. There's common belief in the South that Canadians were living in igloos. I remember that, but I always thought it was a joke. Like, I thought that there's like, yeah, well, you know, it's one of those things where Canadians always say, like, something like that. Your fingertips, no! You should get a pacifier? Pacifier. Yeah, baby pacifier. Those things are crazy. You bite into them. I bought one just because I used to want to bite everything so bad. Wait, I told you guys this. The thing that made me stop wanting to bite as much was getting gummy bears. Like gummies that are really chewy. Gummy bears, gummy worms, not the soft kind of gummy, but like when you like really have to like chomp into, because then you get like the satisfaction of breaking it, but also fighting for it. Hate pacifiers. And what ends up in my baby's mouth? He's a baby! You bite people? It's okay. I thought like that because I also thought Texas was full of tumbleweeds, cowboys, and people's riding horses. Do they not ride horses? I do have in my head the image of Texas is pretty like orange. Like the desert orangey. Bye, Caddy. It's not orange? It's green? Wow. But they don't have mountains, though. They're mountainless. They are, aren't they? They're kind of crazy. A little. It's not safe, I'd like to say. They have a hill? One hill? A singular hill? Really? That sounds sarcastic. I don't trust anything. Multiple hills. I need the mountains. I need to not be able to see the horizon. It's too open without mountains. I need to feel like I'm closed in on all sides. The mountains and the trees! Yeah. Okay, this is the third time that I've tried to start reading. Been a half an hour since I said I was gonna start. So I'm gonna start now. For real now. For real. Okay. Previously. Wow, there was a hype train? Since when? Oh no. You guys are stuck behind. I'll wait until ads are over. Wait until ads are over. Na 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 na. Here's my soda pop, my little soda pop. We will wait in silence. I have to prep my resume. Not my resume, it's my references. I don't have a printer at home, so I'll have to print at work. So I have to prep it in advance. How pretty do you think it should be? Google Docs. Reference. There's a city called Wimberley. They had a few spots where you could see the sky so perfectly at night. I'd stargaze sometimes in high school. Aww, that's so sweet. It's pretty clear where I am. Like, not like super clear anything, but pretty good. You need a reference, I could hype you up and make them think you could be a prime minister. That's too risky! Also, you'd have to give me your phone number. Also, I don't know, would they, like, count, like, if you're, like, from the States? Warlock Fiend as a reference, what could go wrong? Wow, 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 wow. Ooh. Okay, we don't need any fancy font. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Are you guys back? Are the ads over yet? Maybe? Okay. I'm gonna... Luckily, not very much has happened in the book so far. But to summarize, previously on Warrior Cats, Thunder and Shadow, we what? Oh, we follow Alderpaw a little more. Bramblestar has said that he's gonna send another patrol to go check out Sky Clan. Just like, you know, do a little recon kind of situation. Little Cloud is really sick and he's starting to die, so Shadow Clan sends someone to go over and be like, hey, could like Leafpool come over and like help us out? Because Little Cloud is dying and, you know, we want to help him. And so Leafpool's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then she's like, Alderpaw, you come with me. And so Alderpaw and Leafpool go over to Shadow Clan. And then in Shadow Clan, Little Cloud has not been being taken care of very well. It doesn't look like he's been groomed. It doesn't look like his bedding has been changed. He doesn't even have moss water near him to drink. Leafpool is very disappointed. She then is like, she kind of like gives some orders. Oh yeah, Little Cloud is dying, and also a cat is gonna have babies soon. So that was mainly the reason. Like they wanted to make sure that the birth gate went well, because they didn't have a medicine cat to watch over. Anyways, and then the leader came up to her and was like, hey, we wanted to ask if you wanted to stay with Shadow Clan for a while. Just until you can train our new medicine cat apprentice up and he can take over. And she was like, oh, Little Cloud picked a cat before he died? And they're like, no, we just picked an apprentice for him. And then she was like, well, have they had dreams? And they're like, no. He's like, well, what the heck? Anyways, what's his name? And then they named a kit, and the kit isn't old enough yet. And so it's like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of sussy. And then was it Lavender Kit? Who's the other kit? Violet Kit. So there's Violet Kit and Twig Kit. And they're the prophecy kittens that Needlepaw and Alderpaw found. And Twig Kit is having a great life. Poor Violet Kit is like pretty much withdrawn. She's like in a state of depression. Shadow Clan is like really rude to her. She's got no one to talk to. For some reason, her like adopted mother is like telling her to go do things. And then when Leafpool asks her actual kits to do things, she's like, why are you asking them? They're just kittens still. And she's like, well, they're gonna be training as a medicine cat, so who even cares? And she's like, bah, 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 even though she had asked Violet Kit to do it. Rude of her. Hi, Joe. Welcome in. But then because Alderpaw was like watching Violet Kit and was like, wow, she's so sad. It'd be nice if we could do something for them. And Needlepaw was like, oh. And then Alderpaw was like, hey, you're a rebel. You might like this idea. And she was like, yeah, I do. And then so they went and they decided that they would have Twig Kit and Violet Kit meet up. So they snuck away at night and they met up together. And they had like a fun little play session. And then Violet Kit was really upset because she thought that she was going back to ThunderClan, or Twig Kit was going to come with her back. And she didn't understand that it was like just a visit. And she was like really upset. And she's like, well, now I have to go back to ShadowClan where everyone hates me and I'm not worthy. Like everyone's like I don't want to go back now. And the Needlepaw was like, well, you won't be lonely. And she's like, what? And she's like, you're going to be my friend. Which I'm like, I don't know how much I trust Needlepaw. In the last book, I like Needlepaw, but in this coming book, I haven't like she hasn't wowed me. She hasn't wowed me yet. I feel like my trust needs to be earned again. And so that's what happened. That's a lot that happened in 2 chapters, actually. They were like long chapters. Okay. Let us begin. I'm going to put on a fan that hopefully is plugged in. Ooh, it's plugged in! Okay. My little cooling fan. Ooh. Can you hear it when I talk? Is it obvious? The fan in the distance. No? Okay, perfect. Chapter 3. I was gonna say 7 for some reason. I don't know why. Chapter 3. A half moon after Alderpaw brought Twigkit to play with her little mates. He was surprised when Dovenose nosed her way. Dovenose? What is wrong with me? A half moon after Alderpaw brought Twigkit to play with her litter mate, he was surprised when Dovewing nosed her way into the medicine den and asked him to report to the High Ledge. Squirrelflight returned with Lionblaze and Cinderheart. He followed her excitedly and left her at the foot of the rock tumble to join Bramblestar, Squirrelflight, Lionblaze, and Cinderheart at the top. "Did you find anything?" he asked as soon as he reached them. Squirrelflight met his gaze darkly. Bramblestar looked worried. The gorge was empty. What? Is it gonna be Twignose? Empty? Alderpaw could hardly believe his ears. What about the rogues we met on our quest? He knew that Bramblestar had warned the patrol that they might find cats pretending to be SkyClan at the gorge. There was no one there, Lionblaze confirmed. A few stragglers, Cinderheart chipped in, but they were just loners passing through. There was no sign of fresh nests in the gorge. The dens were deserted. Alderpaw's thoughts swam. But if the rogues are gone, SkyClan might return to the gorge. They might not have any place else to go. We might find what is in the shadows after all. We should send the patrol back to search again. There's no point, Squirrelflight told him. We checked the whole area. If there are any SkyClan cats left, they're nowhere near the gorge. They need Mousebrain to go back there, Lionblaze meowed bluntly. The gorge is far too open to attack. It's clear they can't defend it. Bramblestar was frowning. I wonder where they've gone. Who? Alderpaw blinked at him. SkyClan? The rogues. Bramblestar's expression was serious. Don't you care about SkyClan? Alderpaw glared at him. Keep your voice down. Squirrelflight glanced nervously at Dovewing at the bottom of the rocks. She was staring up at them with a wide, curious gaze. Wait, Dovewing must still have her hearing abilities, right? So she doesn't need to... I don't know if she lost it or not. Jay Feather lost his ability to go in dreams, but he is still really empathetic, I think. He still has the empathy. The feelings. I feel like hearing and power would stay, but I don't know. It's like, it'd be really weird if Dovewing's powers left because she always had them, right? Like, that's how she hears and functions. Without it, it'd be like she gets a disability now, you know? Like, she's granted a disability because now she can't, it's like quieter than what she's used to. She's lost her hearing. Lion Blazes was OP, but also he's able to shut it off. Like, he's able to lose fights. So I think that's fine. Maybe we'll find out, yes. Thornclaw and Poppyfrost were washing nearby, while Purdy, Millie, and Graystripe lounged outside the Elder's den. Bramblestar turned his gaze towards Alderpaw. What can we do? He looked distressed. SkyClan is lost to us. Scoreflight eyed their clanmates below. Lionblaze and Cinderheart glanced at each other in surprise. So you're giving up on the prophecy? Alderpaw demanded. We still have the kids, remember? Cinderheart shifted her paws. They were found in the shadow. They might still have a part to play. Alderpaw wished he could believe her. The kids were special, he was sure. They had been found in shadow. But they couldn't be all there was to Starkland's prophecy. What about clearing the skies? Even though he felt a twinge of disloyalty towards Twigkit for thinking it, the prophecy had to be about SkyClan. They were clan cats after all, and he couldn't believe StarClan would let them disappear without doing something. He eyed his father curiously before departing, but Bramblestar wouldn't meet his gaze. Frustration surged through Alderpaw's limbs as he excused himself and made his way back to the medicine cat den. He had to believe SkyClan was still out there, but he knew Bramblestar wasn't about to change his mind. Excuse me. Alderpaw nudged past Fernsong. The yellow tabby Tom was blocking his view of Honeykit. Lilyheart asked me to bring her to you, Fernsong explained again. I know. She has a bellyache. Jayfeather flicked his tail at Fernsong. He already told us. Fernsong paced around the white and yellow kit, his pelt prickling with worry. Lilyheart was busy with the other kits, and Honeykit had been miserable all morning. I was gonna go hunting with Ivypool, but Lilyheart asked me to bring her here. Yes, we know. Jayfeather touched his nose to Honeykit's head. Alderpaw, come and check whether she has a fever. I have no idea. Lilyheart is the adopted mom of Twigkit, but I don't know. And I'm guessing that Fernsong is Lilyheart's mate, but I don't know where they came from. I don't know who these cats are. Alderpaw squeezed past Fernsong again, wishing that Tom would give them more room. As though reading his mind, Briarlight called from her nest. Come over here, Fernsong, and let them examine her properly. Distractedly, Fernsong patted to her side. I just want to make sure she's okay. She's a kit with a bellyache, Jayfeather grunted. She'll be fine. But it hurts, Honeykit whimpered as Alderpaw sniffed the top of her head. Jayfeather ignored her. So? He quizzed Alderpaw. Does she have a fever? No. Alderpaw sniffed again, feeling the warmth of her fur. Was it normal? Was he right? Perhaps she did have a fever and he was being mouse-brained. Good. Jayfeather mewed. Bellyache without a fever means that she probably ate something that disagreed with her, or too much of something she liked. He ran his paw over Honeykit's belly. What have you eaten today? I shared a rabbit with Leafkit and Larkit, Honeykit told him. Did Twigkit eat any? Alderpaw asked. What if she had the same bellyache and was afraid to bother anyone? She had a vole. Jayfeather huffed. Stop fretting about Twigkit and concentrate on the patient, he snapped to Alderpaw. Feel her belly. Is it swollen? Alderpaw touched his paw to the kit's round flank, wondering if the tightness there was normal. It feels a bit swollen? He guessed hesitantly. Jayfeather's ears twitched irritably. Yes, how should we treat her bellyache? Alderpaw's thoughts froze. He felt Briarlight and Fernsong's eyes on him. Honeykit blinked at him hopefully, pain flashing in her green eyes. Jayfeather's blind stare was burning into his pelt. Well? Alderpaw wished again that Jayfeather were less cranky. I'd remember more if he didn't make me so nervous. Chervil, he blurted. Good. Jayfeather sounded satisfied. Fetch some. Will it help? Honeykit asked her eagerly. Of course it will, Jayfeather told her. Alderpaw reached into the crack at the back of the den. It was well stocked. In the half moon since he'd taken Twigkit to meet her sister, he and Leafpool had gathered all the herbs that they could find. Each morning brought heavier dew and a colder chill in the air. It wouldn't be long before the first frost would scorch the precious leaves they'd need through the long days of leaf bare. His paw tips touched the soft leaves of the chervil bundle and hauled it out. Oh my god, why can't I read today? My goodness. I'm like spluttering. He began to untangle a few sprigs. His thoughts wandering into the morning he'd gathered it. The orange shut. Oh my god. Backeth. You're reading while listening to me read? That's so many readings. The orange sun had shimmered above the horizon, its pale warmth hardly chasing the cliff from his pelt. The chill! Oh my god, what's wrong with me? The forest had smelled heaty. The scent of wilting ferns and decaying leaves had filled his nose. Hurry up! Jayfeather's tail flicked impatiently. I don't know what's wrong with you. You've been distracted ever since Squirrelflight returned. Squirrelflight? Alderpaw looked up in surprise. He hadn't realized his concerns about what his mother hadn't found were so obvious. Alderpaw! Jayfeather's sharp mew jerked him back to the present. The medicine cat's ears were pricked towards him. What in StarClan are you doing? I'm ripping up leaves for Honeykit. Alderpaw stared at him, confused. Shrivel is for bellyaches. The roots, not the leaves. Jayfeather snatched the bundle of Shrivel away and snapped off a root. He rolled it towards Honeykit. Eat this. Honeykit looked at it nervously. What does it taste like? It doesn't matter what it tastes like, Jayfeather snapped. It'll make your bellyache go away. Fur ruffled, Honeykit picked up the root between her teeth and began to chew. Alderpaw felt a wave of sympathy as she screwed up her face at the acrid tang. But she kept chewing, peeking at Jayfeather as though she was scared of what he might say if she stopped. At last, she swallowed. Well done. Alderpaw hurried to her side and ran his tail along her spine. You'll feel better in no time. Paw stubs pattered outside, and the brambles swished. Twigkit burst through, a mouse dangling from her jaws. Jayfeather frowned as the kit hurried across the medicine den and dropped the mouse beside Briarlight's nest. I brought you prey! Briarlight purred. Thank you, but you didn't need to. You know I can get to the fresh kill pile by myself. I know, Twigkit squeaked happily, but the hunting patrol just got back. It's still warm. Fernsong sniffed. That reminds me, Ivypool's waiting for me. He blinked at Honeykit. Are you feeling better? Honeykit was washing her paws, licking them fiercely as though trying to clean the taste of Chervil from her tongue. She paused and looked at Fernsong. Then she burped. Yeah, I think so. Twigkit bounded towards her. Larkkit and Leafkit are going to explore the ferns behind the fallen birch. They said you should hurry up. She looked hopefully at Honeykit, who was 3 moons older and nearly twice as big as Twigkit. Can I come too? It's not a game for kids. We're going to practice hunting, Honeykit told her. Leafkit caught a frog there yesterday. If you come, you'll frighten all the prey away. No, I won't. Twigkit's eyes rounded with indignation. Alderpaw felt a surge of sympathy. I'm sure she'll be quiet, Honeykit. Jayfeather snorted. Twigkit's never quiet, and she's always getting under some cat's paws. That's not true. Twigkit glared at him. I'm very helpful. As she defended herself, the brambles rustled at the den entrance. Ivypool patted in. Are you ready to hunt, Fernsong? Fernsong blinked at her, his eyes shining. Yeah, he mowed happily. Okay, maybe Fernsong is not the mate of Lilyheart and the mate of Ivypool. I don't know. Great. Hi, Baku. Jayfeather began to sweep the springs of Chervil together with sharp jabs of his paws. Alderpaw could see irritation rippling through his pelt. Go hunting and take these kits out of the den with you. Twigkit is not coming with me, Honeykit objected. She's too noisy. You always say that, Jayfeather. Twigkit's pelt spiked with indignation, but the blind medicine cat simply looked away. Briarlight heaved herself onto her front paws. Come with me, Twig Kit, she meowed. We can take this mouse outside and choose some prey for you. Fernsong stood aside as Briarlight hauled herself out of her nest and began to drag her limp hind legs towards the den entrance. Alderpaw called after Twig Kit as she followed. Perhaps you can come back and help us later. No! Jayfeather glared at him, his blind blue gaze flashing. We have work to do. Alderpaw flexed his claws, angry at the medicine cat, as Twig Kit shot Jayfeather a resentful look and followed Briarlight from the den. Ivypool glanced sympathetically at Alderpaw. Come on, Fernsong, the prey won't catch itself, and I've promised Greystripe I'll find him a shrew. Alderpaw hardly heard her. He was fuming. As the two warriors left, he turned on the medicine cat, too furious to tiptoe around him this time. You don't have to be so mean to Twigkit, he snapped. Can't you see that she doesn't have anyone to play with? Jayfeather froze, his eyes narrowing. Alderpaw tensed as he saw Jayfeather's ears flattening. He knew this look too well, but he didn't care. He had to say something. Don't tell me how to behave, Jayfeather hissed. I already know my herbs. I can cure my clanmates. You should spend less time worrying about that kit and more time concentrating on your training. Frustration jabbed at Alderpaw's belly. Why hadn't he remembered the root was for bellyaches, not the leaves? He whisked his tail crossly. He wouldn't have forgotten if Jayfeather hadn't been breathing on his tail like an angry fox. I'll try harder, he growled through gritted teeth. But I'm doing okay, aren't I? No one else in the clan doubts me. They value me. After all, it was me who received StarClan's prophecy. There's more to being a medicine cat than passing on a message from StarClan, Jayfeather hissed. StarClan won't tell you how to heal a wound or cure a chest infection. You have to learn that yourself. It takes hard work. It's the most important thing you can do for your clan. It may help you save a life one day. Jayfeather's words seared through Alderpaw's heart. Memories of Sandstorm flashed in his mind. Could he have done more to help her when she got sick? Sandstorm had visited him in a dream and told him her death wasn't his fault. But what if she was just being kind? Perhaps she hadn't needed to die. He was holding back a shudder, remembering how it had felt to wake up beside her stiff, cold body when paws thundered into camp. Bramblestar! Mouse Whisker's yowl cracked the air. Jayfeather shot out of the den. Alderpaw raced after, his heart pounding. What had happened? Mouse Whisker and Cloudtail stood in the clearing, their pelts bushed as their clanmates gathered around them. Sparkpaw left the mouse she'd been eating and hurried closer. Rakenfur and Birchfall leaped to their paws, and Lionblaze, Poppyfrost, and Rosepetal darted from the warrior's den. What's wrong? Bramblestar leaped down from the high ledge, fur spiked along his spine. There's a fight outside our border, Mouse Whisker puffed. Wind Clan, Cloudtail added, his flanks heaving. Greystripe leaped to his paws, ears flat. Invasion? No! Mouse Whisker swung his muzzle towards the elder. Wind Clan cats are fighting rogues. Rogues? Alderpaw stiffened. What rogues? Thornclaw lashed his tail. If Wind Clan wants to fight rogues, they can do it on their own territory. Bramblestar stared at Cloudtail. Couldn't you have driven them off? Cloudtail shook his head. There were too many of them. The rogues looked vicious. I think Wind Clan needs help. Alarm prickled through Alderpaw's pelt. If there was a fight, there'd be wounds. What herbs would they need? Quickly, he began running through the list in his head. Marigold, oakleaf, goldenrod, comfrey. Bramblestar nodded. Cloudtail, Birchfall, Lionblaze, and Rosepetal, come with me. I'm coming too. I'm coming too. Squirrelflight stepped forward. And me. Sparkpaw hurried to stand beside her mother. You two can guard the camp with the others, Bramblestar told them. Until we know what's going on, keep the kits in the nursery. He shot a look at Greystripe. The elders too. It's the easiest den to protect. Alderpaw's thoughts whirled in confusion. Why was the fighting on their territory? Was Wind Clan attacking? Were the rogues invading? Alderpaw and I will come with you. Jayfeather stared steadily at Bramblestar, his blind blue eyes calm. There will be injuries. Alderpaw's heart was racing. This was his first battle. Had he learned enough to help properly? Would the wounds be bad? Fear and excitement fizzled in his belly. Should I fetch herbs? Jayfeather shook his head. We can use what we find in the area and bring any injured cats back to camp. Bramblestar nodded curtly and raced for the thorn barrier. He disappeared through the tunnel, and Cloudtail chased after him, Birchfall, Lineblaze, and Rosepetal at his heels. Alderpaw started after them, surprised as Jayfeather dodged past him and into the tunnel. He couldn't imagine running blind, but Jayfeather burst from the camp without missing a paw step. The patrol streaked up the rise. Jayfeather raced after them, his nose to red Rosepetal's tail. As though he could sense the forest, he leaped over roots and swerved around brambles. Alderpaw raced to keep up. Ahead, shrieks of yowls rang through the trees. Alderpaw's chest burned as they reached the top of the rise near the edge of the forest. Mousewhisker pulled up first, scrambling to a halt. Oh, I lost my spot in my yawn. Scrambling to a halt and looking downslope, Bramblestar stopped beside him and followed his gaze. As Alderpaw caught up to them, he saw the fight below. His pelt bristled with shock as he took in Oatclaw, Amberfoot, Fur's pelt, and One Star, clearly fighting for their lives. Screeches ripped through the air, and fur flew like thistledown in the slanting sunshine. The scent of blood and fear soured the breeze. "Windgland is outnumbered," Birchfall gasped. "By rogues?" Rosepetal sounded shocked. Sometimes a loner or two passed through the forest, but it had been moons since a gang of rogues had dared to cross clan territory. "Help them!" Yowling the order, Bramblestar charged downslope. His clanmates followed, fanning out as they neared the fighting cats. Bramblestar reached the rogues first. Their pelts were tattered, their tails bushed, but they twisted as nimbly as weasels as they fought. Their musky stench reached Alderpaw's nose as their malicious snarls echoed among the trees. Bramblestar flung his paws out and hooked his claws into the pelt of a rogue. With a yowl, he hauled the tom away from Oatclaw. Cloudtail threw himself between the tabby and Fur's pelt. The rogue turned on him, hissing, and lunged, knocking Cloudtail's legs from beneath him. Rearing, the tabby slammed his paws into Cloudtail's spine. "Get off him!" Birchfall clamped his jaws around the rogue's scruff. Grunting with effort, he flung the tabby aside while Cloudtail flipped himself back onto his paws. Rosepetal grappled with the mangy white she-cat while Birchfall aimed sharp blows at the back of at the black she-cat. Lineblaze fell, hissing, onto a silver-gray tom. Alderpaw watched, his claws itching to join in, but he had never learned battle moves. He'd be no help. Guilt twisted his belly. Amberfoot reared up beside Bramblestar and began batting a muscular white tom back through the trampled ferns at the borderline. Oatclaw found his paws and dived to help Rosepetal pin the white she-cat to the ground. "Stop!" The white tom ducked away from a blow and glared at Bramblestar. At his command, the other rogues fell still. Alderpaw froze. There were no ordinary rogues. His heart seemed to jump into his throat. Darktail! He recognized the leader of the gang of cats that had driven SkyClan from the gorge. Bramblestar lashed his tail, his sharp gaze flitting from cat to cat. "Let them go," he growled to his clanmates. Cloudtail released the tabby, and Rosepetal and Oatclaw backed away from the she-cat. Lineblaze and Birchfall stood protectively in front of Emberfoot and Fur's pelt. They stared at the rogues, who'd huddled together, their eyes glittering with hate. Now that he could see them better, some of the others looked familiar to Alderpaw too. Rain, a long-furred gray tom, Raven, a black she-cat. Beside them were a silvery gray tom and a shabby white she-cat. Beside them crouched a tabby, its ears flat, his hackles lifted. I lost my spot again. Where were the rest of the cats? There had been more in the gorge than this. He scanned the undergrowth anxiously. Had the rest of their group traveled to the lake too? Were they waiting to join them in the fight? What is it? Jayfeather jerked his muzzle towards Alderpaw. Do you know them? Okay, Jayfeather can definitely still feel people's feelings. Alderpaw blinked at the medicine cat. I've seen them before, he stammered. On the quest. As he spoke, Darktail caught his eye. The rogue leader glared at him, eyes flashing with malice. Alderpaw felt sick. He recognizes me. He fought the urge to back away as Darktail's gaze bored into his. Jayfeather! Bramblestar called up the slope. We need help here. Some WindClan cats are wounded. Jayfeather raced down the slope. Urgency tugging at his paws, Alderpaw broke away from Darktail's glittering gaze and bounded after his mentor. Leave. Bramblestar stepped towards the huddled rogues before we rip the pelts from your backs. Alderpaw watched Darktail turn his gaze to the ThunderClan leader. Would he give in so easily? The rogue leader snarled, his teeth showing blood as he spoke. This won't be the last you see of us. We have a mission here, and we know more about your so-called clans than you think. Fear ran along Alderpaw's spine like ice water as the rogue leader turned and headed away through the ferns. Growling, his campmates followed. Is he talking about what I told him at the gorge? Alderpaw shivered as he wondered whether the rogues had followed them back to the lake. Yeah, of course they did, dude. Bramblestar glanced around at his warriors. Who's hurt? I'm fine. Cloudtail ran a paw over his bloody ear tip. Just a scratch or two, Rosepetal reported. Lionblaze was licking a few wounds of his own, but Alderpaw could see from where he stood that they were no more than shallow scratches. Yeah, they still have their powers. Sick. Alderpaw, find some cobwebs. At Jayfeather's order, he hurried to the roots of a tree where cobwebs crowded the gaps. His paws were trembling as he pulled long strips out and carried them back to Jayfeather. The ThunderClan medicine cat was crouched over Oakclaw. The WindClan Tom lay limp, blood oozing from deep cuts along his flank. Cover them and stop the bleeding, Jayfeather ordered, taking a clump of cobweb from Alderpaw and heading towards Emberfoot. Alderpaw spread the remaining cobwebs over Oakclaw's wounds, packing them in where the cuts were deepest, as Jayfeather had taught him. One Star is badly hurt, Birchfall meowed, leaning over the brown tabby Tom. As Jayfeather hurried to look, Alderpaw glanced at the WindClan leader. He was on his side, his fur matted with blood. Alderpaw quickly finished dressing Oakclaw's cuts. Stay still until the bleeding eases, he told him before turning to help Jayfeather. One Star lay as still as fresh kill, a bloody wound opening the pale brown pelt below his neck. I'll fetch more cobwebs, he gasped. Before he could finish, a groan sounded behind him. He turned to see Furzpelt stagger, then collapse. Furzpelt! Alderpaw darted towards her, his throat tightening as he saw her flank shudder, then fall still. He sniffed her, shivering. His heart sank to see her sagging limbs. She's dead. Dead? Dang! She was standing a second ago. She just toppled over and died? Dang. That's rough. Birchfall and Rosepetal approached slowly. Oakclaw lifted his head, his eyes round with shock as he stared at his fallen clanmate. Emberfoot limped closer. They killed her? Disbelief edged his mew. Alderpaw looked for wounds, finding bite marks on Furz's spine and scratches along her flank. Then he saw the ugly lump at the back of her head. She must have hit her head. He scanned the ground and noticed, for the first time, the sharp points of deeply buried rocks jutting from the forest floor. Blood and fur clung to one nearby. He glanced towards Jayfeather. The medicine cat hadn't moved. His blind eyes had turned to One Star. Blood was pulsing from the WindClan leader's throat. Alderpaw touched Furzpelt's lifeless body with his paw. There was nothing he could do for this cat, but perhaps he could help One Star. I'll get cobwebs. He headed for the tree roots. No. Jayfeather's mew was grave. But the bleeding! Alderpaw darted to his mentor's side. The ground beneath One Star was stained ruby red. The fur at his throat was scarlet and glistening. Why wasn't Jayfeather doing something? Alderpaw's throat tightened with dread. We must help him! There's nothing we can do, Jayfeather murmured softly. Alderpaw looked up. Cloudtail and Rosepetal had backed away, their eyes wide. Bramblestar hadn't moved. He was staring at the WindClan leader, his amber eyes as dark as night. Birchfall and Lineblaze exchanged glances as Oakcaw staggered to his paws and padded closer to his leader. Alderpaw could see him trembling. Then One Star gasped, as though taking his first breath after near drowning. Shuddering, he gulped in air and opened his eyes. Alderpaw blinked in surprise as he saw that the leader's wounds had disappeared. Blood still stained his fur, but the gash had closed as though it had never happened. It never had been there. Understanding washed through him. He lost a life, he whispered to Jayfeather. Jayfeather nodded. Alderpaw swallowed. He knew that leaders had 9 lives, but he'd never imagined what it must look like to lose one. Did dying hurt? How did it feel to come back to life? Lineblaze looked questioningly at Oakclaw. Has he many more? Oakclaw shrugged. Only One Star knows that. The WindClan leader flashed Oakclaw an angry look. Growling, he pushed himself to his paws. Oakclaw dipped his head. Alderpaw frowned. Surely One Star's clan knew. They must count each passing life. And yet, a casual observer could never know how many lives a leader had left. Alderpaw searched the leader's gaze, wondering what he would see. One Star lifted his chin, his gaze murderous. Staring between the trees, he flattened his ears. Where have the rogues gone? Away, Bramblestar told him. For now, we must follow them. Bramblestar's gaze flickered around the WindClan cats. Firstpelt is dead, he told One Star softly. Oakclaw and Amberfoot are injured. Come back to our camp, where Jayfeather and Alderpaw can treat their wounds properly. One Star glanced back towards the edge of the trees, as though he hadn't heard the ThunderClan leader. We should go home. Oakclaw and Amberfoot are in no state to travel that far right now, Jayfeather put in. One Star narrowed his eyes, glancing at the injured warriors. Oakclaw was leaning against Birchfall, blood welling on his flank. Emberfoot was staring at their fallen clanmate, his eyes shimmering with grief. What about Firstpelt's body? Alderpaw was surprised to see coldness in the WindClan leader's eyes. Had losing a life robbed him of feelings? Perhaps he was numb with shock. Bramblestar nodded to Cloudtail. You and Rosepetal sit with her. Make sure nothing disturbs her body until a patrol can fetch her. He turned to One Star, softening his mew. Come home with us. We can take care of you. We can take care of ourselves, One Star snapped. Jayfeather snorted. If Oakclaw doesn't bleed to death first. I love Jayfeather. The WindClan leader looked to where the moor rose towards the darkening sky. A storm was moving in. He nodded briefly. Very well. Chew up more horsetail and marigold. He calls it like he's like Dr. House. Alderpaw was helping treat the injured WindClan cats in the shelter of the medicine den, while the rain thrummed outside. He'd already made enough pulp to put on Oakclaw and Emberfoot's wounds, and his clanmate's scratches, and his tongue was numb from the herbs. He wished Leafpool were here to help. Should someone warn her that dangerous rogues are in the forest? Alderpaw had seen Darktail kill the only SkyClan cat he'd found near the gorge. Now he'd brought his rogues here and had killed again. We have a mission here, and we know more about your so-called clans than you think. He remembered Darktail's words with a shudder. What in Starkland did they want? They're so vicious, he muttered to himself. Jayfeather's ears twitched. Haven't seen cats like them since Dark Forest. Alderpaw blinked at the medicine cat. Every kid had heard nursery tales about the Dark Forest. His father and many of his clanmates had fought in a battle against the evil cats who lurked there. Do you think that's where they're from? He asked. Jayfeather shook his head. No. Only clan cats can find their way to the place of no stars, and these rogues have clearly never belonged to any clan. Oakclaw was sleeping now, in a makeshift nest beside firelights, drowsy from the poppy seeds Jayfeather had given him. Emberfoot moaned softly as Jayfeather licked pulp into his wound. Sparkpaw pushed through the trailing brambles. Her rain-soaked pelt dripped water into the medicine cat floor. Are they hungry? She glanced at Oakclaw and lowered her voice. The hunting patrol's back. There's plenty of prey on the fresh kill pile. I want to make sure there's no infection in these wounds before they eat, Jayfeather told her. Those rogues sound hateful, Sparkpaw commented. The whole clan's talking about them. Alderpaw glanced at her. Should he tell her they were the same rogues who'd driven SkyClan from their home? That they might have followed them back to the lake? No. He must say nothing to Sparkpaw yet. He needed to tell Bramblestar first. He wondered if his father had already guessed where the rogues had come from. After all, it had only been a few days since Squirrelflight had reported that they had abandoned the gorge. Alderpaw had never imagined they'd show up by the lake. He spat the herbs he'd been chewing onto a waxy leaf and carried it to Jayfeather. Can Sparkpaw help you for a bit? Jayfeather stared at him, eyes narrowed, but said nothing. Sparkpaw sniffed. I'm not a medicine cat. You can chew, can't you? Jayfeather grunted. I guess. Sparkpaw looked bemused. So, I can go? Alderpaw stared at Jayfeather. It's important. I won't be long. I need to speak with Bramblestar. What about? Sparkpaw pricked her ears. Alderpaw ignored her and kept his gaze fixed on Jayfeather. Jayfeather nodded. Don't be long. If it's something important, I want to know. Sparkpaw fluffed out her wet fur. Jayfeather pawed a pile of marigold leaves towards her. When you're clan leader, you can be the first to hear everything. Until then, you can help by chewing these leaves. Muttering crossly, Sparkpaw crouched beside the medicine cat and grabbed a mouthful of herbs. Ew! She gasped. How do you stand this? You get used to it. Alderpaw nosed his way through the trailing brambles. Rain battered his face. Outside, his clanmates were sheltering beneath the ferns edging the camp. Alderpaw could sense tension in the air. Graystripe looked out from the Elder's Den. Snowbush and Amber Moon. Sorry, there's Emberfoot and Amber Moon. Who the heck are Snowbush and Amber Moon? Huddled beneath the thorn barrier, Cinderheart sat in the downpour, guarding the entrance to the nursery. Bramblestar sheltered with one-star Lionblaze and Birchfall beneath the jutting branch of the fallen beech. Alderpaw hurried towards them, slowing as he neared. Did you chase them onto ThunderClan territory? Bramblestar asked One Star. They were already on your territory. The WindClan leader's eyes were still dark with fury. They were scouting for something. I'm not sure what. We crossed the border to warn them off. I was planning to come and tell you once they were gone. Lionblaze narrowed his eyes. But they attacked you. Did you provoke them? Birchfall asked. One Star growled. If you mean did we ask them why they were nosing around clan territory, then yes. Alderpaw caught Bramblestar's eyes. Can I speak to you alone? He was aware that he was interrupting, but this was important. Bramblestar's ears twitched. One Star scowled at him. What is it? I need to speak with my father. Alderpaw met the WindClan leader's gaze. One Star growled and looked away. Bramblestar frowned, his fur rippling uneasily. What is it? He guided Alderpaw quickly to a clump of ferns sprouting near the camp entrance. They ducked beneath the browning fronds. Alderpaw shivered as rain dripped onto his spine. The rogues who attacked WindClan are the same rogues we found in the gorge. Bramblestar closed his eyes, sighing. I feared as much. It was too much of a coincidence for a band of rogues to show up now. Do you think they've followed us home? Guilt wormed beneath Alderpaw's pelt. Probably. Bramblestar met his gaze, but you can't blame yourself for what other cats choose to do. Alderpaw shifted his paws, wishing it were that simple. Why do you think they've come here? The question had been niggling in Alderpaw's thoughts since he'd recognized Darktail. Darktail said he had a reason. Bramblestar's gaze darkened, so there might be more of them in the forest. Yes, Squirrelflight said that there were none left in the gorge. Alderpaw shifted uneasily. Was the forest full of rogues? Why had they come here? We should warn Leafpool, he whispered. We should warn all the clans. Bramblestar patted from the ferns and called to his clanmates. Let all cats old enough to catch their own prey join here beneath the high ledge for a clan meeting. Alderpaw watched his father leap onto the high ledge. Brigandfur, Cloudtail, Brightheart, and Thornclaw patted from the warrior's den. White-winged Berrynose and Poppyfrost slunk in from beneath the juniper. Squirrelflight slid from Bramblestar's den on the high ledge and jumped down to stand with her clanmates. As Jayfeather and Sparkpaw emerged from the medicine den, Dovewing and Cherryfall patted from the shelter of the fallen beach. Dovewing glanced around. Has anyone seen Ivypool? Her blue eyes brimmed with worry. She's hunting with Fernsong. Elderpaw patted to her side. Dovewing's pelt spiked anxiously. I hope they don't bump into those rogues. Cherryfall pressed closer to her friend. Ivypool survived the dark forest. She can handle a few rogues. Yeah, I think Ivypool is the best fighter next to Lion Blaze, honestly. If not better than Lion Blaze, because Lion Blaze just has OP powers. Skill-wise. One Star wove through the crowd and stood at the front. Water streamed down his whiskers as he lifted his face to the high ledge. I want to take Fur's pelt back to our camp so we can sit vigil. Jayfeather stepped forward. Oaklaw and Emberfoot are too wounded to help carry her. Movement will reopen their wounds. They should stay here for a few days. One Star glared at him. They are warriors. They are strong. They will travel with me. Unseen, Jayfeather held the Wind Clan leader's gaze. I have an apprentice. Kesslerflight has none. Let him save his herbs and his energy for his clanmates on the moor. We can take care of Oaklaw and Emberfoot until they're fit to travel. One Star glared at Bramblestar, whose manner turned gentle and coaxing. I will send a patrol home with you, One Star. They can help you carry Fur's pelt's body. One Star's tail flicked angrily. Jayfeather held his ground. You've lost one clanmate today, he meowed steadily. Don't risk another. One Star snorted. Very well. You decide wisely, One Star. Bramblestar's gaze flicked around the clan. Snowbush, Blossomfall, and Berrynose, escort One Star home. Carry Fur's pelt's body as though she were your clanmate. The three warriors nodded as Bramblestar went on. Dangerous rogues are in the forest. We don't know how many there are. They have shown that they are willing to fight to the death. Until we know why they are here and what they intend to do next, we must be on our guard. We must warn ShadowClan and RiverClan of the danger. Again, he scanned the cats gathered below the high ledge. Lineblaze, take Cinderheart, Birchfall, and Sparkpaw and Poppyfrost. Travel to RiverClan's camp and warn Misty Star about the rogues. I will take Cherryfall and Bumblestripe, Dovewing, and Stormcloud to ShadowClan to warn Rowan Star. I want to come. A tiny squeak sounded from the nursery. Elderpaw turned as he recognized Twigkit's mew. She was struggling out of the nursery entrance. Cinderheart stared at the kit as she splattered onto the muddy ground and stared up at Bramblestar. Please let me come with you to ShadowClan. I want to see my sister. Don't be mouse-brained. Poppyfrost stared at her from the clearing. Thornclaw snorted. This is a patrol, not a nursery. Disapproving murmurs rippled through the gathered cats. Elderpaw pushed past his clanmates and stopped beside Twigkit. You're too young to travel to ShadowClan, he told her gently, especially with rogues in the forest. She stared up at him, her eyes wide as owls. That's why I have to go. I have to make sure Violet is safe. She was trembling. Cinderheart moved closer to the kit and wrapped her tail around her. Rain was soaking Twigkit's pelt. Elderpaw's right, she murmured. You're too young to be out in the forest, especially in weather like this and with rogues around. Twigkit pulled away. But Violet my sister. What if they hurt her? She should be with me where it's safe. Elderpaw's heart twisted. How would he feel if Sparkpaw were in danger? He looked up at his father. Let me come with you, he meowed. I can check on Violet and speak to Leafpool while I'm there. He glanced at Jayfeather, hopefully, relieved when he saw Jayfeather nodding. It'd be good to know how much longer Leafpool will be away. Jayfeather agreed. Bramblestar bowed his head. Okay, you can come. Elderpaw bent down and touched his nose to Twigkit's wet pelt. I can't bring Violet back with me, but I can make sure she will be safe. Twigkit looked up at Elderpaw with wide, serious eyes. After a moment, she leaned up to nuzzle his cheek. Okay, she murmured. I trust you, Elderpaw. Elderpaw closed his eyes, feeling the soft fluff of Twigkit's cheek against his own. I hope I'm worthy of your trust, Twigkit. He heaved in a breath. I hope I can make sure we all will be safe. That was a long as heck chapter. Did that take an hour to read? No way. Like 50 minutes. At least, though. Gross. Accidentally pressed the button to hear myself talk. The chapters in this book are so long. Wait, I'm gonna see how many chapters there are. There's 24 chapters. There are always 24 chapters. We only finished one chapter today so far. I'm gonna go get a burrito that I know is in the fridge. It might not be there anymore, but I'm still gonna go check. But I'll be right back. I'm back! Might have to wait a little while. My burrito was in the fridge and now it is, so it's very cold and hard. I have to let it melt in. Do people warm up their burritos after? The female returned. That's me, the female. They probably do warm it up. Oh well. It's too hot. Too hot to warm it up. I'll take 2 bites. Two bites. You're daydreaming about soda pop that I don't have. Life is cruel and sad. All right. Chapter 4. Come back, Elderpaw. Elderpaw halted and turned. He'd gotten too far ahead of the group again, and Bramblestar was calling him back. Frustration rippled through his pelt. You're all too slow. What if the rogues had hurt Violet Kid? He had to find out. Alderpaw is like a single father to these two kids. Can't we move any faster? He yowled to Bramblestar. You need to be wary. Bramblestar caught up to him. The rogues could be anywhere, and ShadowClan won't thank us for charging across their border. Pacing restlessly, Elderpaw waited with Bramblestar as Cherryfall, Bumblestripe, Doveling, and Stormcloud scanned the bushes along the trail. He could see the ShadowClan border ahead, where the oaks turned to pines. The scent of their sap tasted sharp on his tongue. The rain was easing. Bumblestripe shook out his pelt as he stopped beside Alderpaw. His fur stood on end, spiked and wet. Cherryfall purred with amusement and nudged his shoulder with her nose. You look like a hedgehog. You look like a RiverClan cat, Bumblestar teased, flicking raindrops from her whiskers with his nose. Bramblestar paced around them, mouth open as he tasted the air. Concentrate, he ordered. There could be rogues anywhere. We've been checking for their scent all the way and smelled nothing, Stormcloud pointed out. Doveling pricked her ears. They've probably run away. Bramblestar scanned the forest. I don't think the rogues would scare that easy. He glanced at Alderpaw, and Alderpaw guessed what he was thinking. They knew that the rogues were not afraid of the clan cats, not after what they'd done to SkyClan. We should still check for their scents along the border before we cross it. They may have come a long way. They may have come the long way around. And you have a cat that constantly bites your nose in the mornings? She said something that made me think of it. No! My cats paw at me, though. Or one cat paws at me when he wants something. Or punches. Punches is closer, actually. But we need to get to ShadowClan's camp and warn them. Alderpaw plucked at the ground impatiently and check on Violet Kid. Knowing where the rogues went is more important. Bramblestar padded past, following a trail that shadowed the border. Stormcloud followed, with Bumblestripe, Dovewing, and Cherryfall at his heels. Impatiently, Alderpaw trotted after them. Bramblestar stopped suddenly and lifted his muzzle. He didn't need to speak. The others had smelt it too. They've passed this way. Stormcloud sniffed the thorn bush, his nose wrinkling. Were they the same ones you fought earlier? Dovewing asked. Bramblestar narrowed his eyes thoughtfully. The same scent. Bumblestar sniffed. All rogues smell the same to me. Bramblestar looked at him sharply. You've better learn to tell the difference. We might be dealing with more of them than we know. Dovewing's eyes widened. Is it an invasion? Cherryfall was sniffing the thorn bush now, her pelt rippling with fear. It's them, isn't it? She gasped. The ones who drove... Alderpaw's heart lurched. Cherryfall had been on the quest with him. She'd met the rogues, and she knew about SkyClan. Before she could betray the secret to Stormcloud, Bumblestripe, and Dovewing, he interrupted. They're the ones we met on our quest, he confirmed, glaring at her meaningfully. She shifted her paws self-consciously. Oh, she mumbled. Dovewing was still staring at Bramblestar. Do you know who they are? Elderpaw and the others encountered the same rogues on their quest, Bramblestar admitted. Stormcloud was frowning. Why have they come here? Bramblestar patted to a bramble and sniffed it. I don't know. Let's hope they're just passing through. We have a mission here. Alderpaw felt his pelt twitch. He was uncomfortable keeping secrets from his clanmates. Paws thrummed over the forest floor nearby. Alderpaw stiffened, his heart quickening. Hackles lifted. He backed closer to Bumblestripe as the patrol bunched together. Bumblestripe tasted the air. Is it the rogues? Stormcloud jerked his muzzle towards the pines. Shape moved between the trunks. No! Dovewing suddenly hurried towards the border. She looked back at the patrol. It's ShadowClan! Her eyes were bright. Alderpaw glimpsed familiar pelts between the trees. Tigerheart was trotting to... Of course, that's why her eyes are bright and gleaming. Tigerheart's here. Stonewing and Juniperpaw beside him. His heart quickened with hope as he saw Tawny Pelt at the rear. She was Needlepaw's mentor. Was Needlepaw with them? She's gonna drool all over him. The Shadow Clan patrol spread out as they neared the scent line and glared at the ThunderClan cats. Disappointment prickled Elderpaw's belly as he saw that Needlepaw wasn't one of them. What are you doing here? Tigerheart demanded. Sorry, I started reading ahead. Doveling padded towards him. Tigerheart! She sounded pleased to see him. We have news. Tigerheart showed his teeth as she stepped over the border. She stopped, her ears twitching with surprise. Tawnypelt padded forward and looked at Bramblestar. What news? Her nose was twitching. Distractedly, she sniffed the brambles that straddled the border. What's that scent? We've been smelling it ever since we left camp. Rogues, Bramblestar told her. That's why we've come. We need to speak to Rowenstar. Rogues? On our land? Tawnypelt's tail twitched. Elderpaw felt a glimmer of relief. Violet must be safe if ShadowClan wasn't aware of the rogue's presence. I must speak to Rowenstar, Bramblestar insisted. Tawnypelt nodded. Tigerstar, escort them to camp. I'll follow the scent trail with Stonewing and Juniperpaw. Be careful, Bramblestar warned. These rogues aren't strays or loners. They're dangerous. If you find them, send for help. He looked at Juniperpaw. He was lithe, his black pelt showing muscle beneath. He was small. 2 warriors and an apprentice won't be enough to fight them. Juniper puffed out his pelt. I'm strong. Did I say Tigerstar? My bad. Tigerheart. He crossed the border, meeting Tigerheart's gaze. Lead the way. Rowenstar must be informed as soon as possible. Tigerheart glanced at Tawnypelt, then nodded. Follow me. Elderpaw padded beside Bumblestripe as Bramblestar fell into step behind Tigerheart. As leaves turned to pine needles beneath his paws, he glanced back at Tawnypelt, Stonewing, and Juniperpaw. Should Bramblestar have warned them that the rogues killed Firstpelt and stole one of One-Star's lives? He whispered. Bumblestripe shook his head. One-Star won't want the news that he's lost a life to spread around. Leaders don't like to appear vulnerable. Elderpaw suddenly wondered if his father had ever lost a life. He padded between the pines, recognizing the trail to camp as they neared. As Tigerheart led the patrol inside, surprised faces turned to glare at them. Snowbird showed her teeth. ThunderClan, again? Beside her, Scorchfur grunted. It's bad enough one of them has to live with us. The others don't have to visit. Jeez. One of them is taking care of you guys when you're sick. That'd be nice to her. Bramblestar kept his gaze on Tigerheart. Elderpaw scanned the camp. Was Needlepaw here? What about Violet Kit? He searched for a glimpse of the kit's black and white pelt. There was no sign. Perhaps she was with Needlepaw. His eyes wandered further across the camp as he thought of the silver she-cat. Beepaw and Strikepaw were practicing battle moves at the edge of the clearing, concentrating so hard that they didn't notice the ThunderClan patrol. Needlepaw wasn't with them. She wasn't at the fresh kill pile either. Where was she? Bramblestar. Rowenstar's deep mew snapped Elderpaw's attention back. He almost bumped into Cherryfall, who had stopped beside Bramblestar. The ShadowClan leader stood at the head of the clearing, his eyes narrow with suspicion. Have you come to fetch your medicine, cat? She's out gathering herbs. Crowfrost padded from a den in the camp Crowfrost padded from a den in the camp wall as Tigerheart peeled away from the patrol and stood squarely beside Rowenstar. They say they have news, Tigerheart meowed. What news? Rowenstar fixed his gaze on Bramblestar. One-Star and his patrol challenged a gang of rogues that were nosing around our territory. The rogues attacked. Firstpelt was killed and One-Star... Bramblestar hesitated. One-Star was badly injured. So were the other 2 members of his patrol. Elderpaw exchanged a glance with Bumblestripe. The young warrior had been right. Bramblestar wanted to protect One-Star. How many rogues were there? Rowenstar asked. 6. Rowenstar's gaze sharpened with surprise. Is that all? They might have killed more WindClan warriors if we hadn't sent a patrol to help, Bramblestar told him steadily. So you say. Rowenstar sounded unconvinced. Does ThunderClan have to believe no clan can survive without them? Bramblestar dipped his head. I'm just reporting the truth. The safety of your clan may depend on it. Devling stepped forward. Their scent is already on your territory. Bramblestar shot her a warning glance. We don't know how many rogues might be in the woods. What makes you think there might be more? Rowenstar narrowed his eyes suspiciously. They're from a large gang of rogues our patrol met on their quest. We can't presume that only a few of them came to the lake. Bramblestar turned his head and glanced around the camp. We picked up a rogue scent trail leading from our land to yours. I'd like your permission to follow it. I want to see if the rogues have left our territories. Rowenstar flexed his claws. You want to search ShadowClan? That's not why we came. Bramblestar met the ShadowClan leader's gaze. But now that we know they've been here, I'd like to find out where they've gone. No. Rowenstar's refusal was instant. ShadowClan can guard its own territory. It doesn't need help from ThunderClan. Bramblestar dipped his head. I understand your concerns, Rowenstar, but we know the scent. I still have rogue blood beneath my claws. Let's at least send a joint patrol, ShadowClan and ThunderClan, to track their trail. We'd be stronger together, and this threatens every clan. Don't forget the prophecy. Embrace what you find in the shadows, for only they can clear the sky. Perhaps the rogues were connected. These rogues are connected. We have not seen such cruel cats since the battle with the Dark Forest. They might be the danger that StarClan is warning us about. Tigerheart's eyes flashed. The prophecy meant the kits. Crowfrost shifted his paws. Bramblestar may have a point. Rowenstar jerked his head to his deputy. Crowfrost held his ground. What if the rogues are linked with the prophecy? Perhaps we should track them together. Tigerheart growled. I lost my place, and now I'm gonna take a bite out of my burrito. I saw it with my own eyes. Whoa. Why is there a gap in my dress? To let my chest breathe. Okay. Crowfrost held his ground. What if the rogues are linked with the prophecy? Perhaps we should track them together. Tigerheart growled. Why don't we track them alone and report what we find at the next gathering? Rowenstar frowned thoughtfully. You said one star was badly wounded. He spoke to Bramblestar. How badly? Bramblestar returned his gaze steadily. Badly enough. Rowenstar's eyes sparkled with interest. So, he growled, these rogues truly are dangerous. Bumblestar leaned closer to Alderpaw. He's worried he might be the next leader to lose a life. Fine, Rowenstar agreed. We will send a patrol to track these rogues with you. Crowfrost, you will lead it. Take Tigerheart, Scorchfur, and Spikefur with you. A dark brown Tom with a tuft of fur sticking up between his ears crossed the clearing towards them. Do you say my name? You're going with these cats. Rowenstar threw a scornful look at the ThunderClan patrol. Alderpaw heard Bumblestripe swallow back a growl. There are rogues in our land. You will track them and find out where they've gone. Should I take Garrowpaw? Spikefur asked. Of course, Rowenstar meowed. It'll be good training for her. The trail headed away from the sun, drawing the two patrols deeper into the pine woods. Alderpaw's pelt twitched nervously as they made their way through ShadowClan territory. The needle-strewn ground turned muddy beneath his paws as the trees clustered tighter and the shadows became so dark that it felt like night. The dank smell of a stagnant stream rose ahead. Alderpaw strained to see through the darkness. Tigerheart was already pacing the bank of a narrow ditch. As Bramblestar caught up to him, Crowfrost sniffed the earth. The trail ends here. the Shadow Clan deputy announced. I smell rabbit blood. Dovewing circled the patrols. Crowfrost sniffed. They must have hunted here before they left the territory. He nodded beyond the ditch. This is the Shadow Clan border. It is no clan's land beyond here. The rogues went that way as it appears, then they are gone. Shouldn't we cross the ditch and check? Bramblestar pressed. Dovewing leaped over the foul-smelling stream and began sniffing at the earth ahead. Tiger Heart jumped after her, nudging her aside to press his own nose to the ground. Nothing here. Perhaps they waded through the stream to disguise their scent, Dovewing suggested. Tiger Heart snorted. Rogues aren't that clever. Besides, he peered into the ditch. Stinking black water lay at the bottom. What cat would get their paws wet in there? Devlin glared at him challengingly. A cat that wants to hide its trail? Tigerheart held her gaze for a moment, then growled. You still have to be the smartest cat. You still have to be the smartest cat in the clan. Devling's blue eyes flashed in the gloom. And you still have to be the most arrogant. Oh my god, are they going through a breakup? Come back, you two. Bramblestar flicked his tail. Looks like the rogues have left the territory. We might as well go home. Elderpaw wondered if Bramblestar truly believed they were gone. He tried to catch Bramblestar's eyes for reassurance, but the ThunderClan leader was looking at Crowfrost. Thank you for letting us search your territory, the ThunderClan leader meowed. Crowfrost dipped his head formally. Let us escort you to our border. Elderpaw stiffened. He'd promised Twitkit he'd check on Violet Kit. I need to go back to your camp, he blurted to the Shadow Clan deputy. Crowfrost blinked at him in surprise. Stammering, Elderpaw struggled to gain his composure. Jayfeather wants me to speak with Leafpool. He needs to know when she'll be returning to her own clan. Crowfrost rolled his eyes. Very well, he grunted crossly. You can go back with Yaropaw, Tigerheart, Spikefur, and I will take your clanmates to the border. Bramblestar blinked reassuringly at Elderpaw. We'll wait for you there. Elderpaw nodded. As the warrior patrol moved away, he followed Yaropaw back to the Shadow Clan camp. Where's Needlepaw today? He asked, trying to sound casual. Yaropaw glanced suspiciously over her shoulder. Why do you want to know? She wasn't with Tawny Pelt, Elderpaw meowed. Or in camp. I was just wondering where she was. It's none of your business, Yaropaw snapped. Do I ask where your den mates are? I was just trying to make conversation, Elderpaw meowed. Yaropaw flicked her tail. Silence is fine with me. They padded back to camp without another word. At the camp entrance, she led the way through the tunnel, stopping as he emerged, then nodded towards the medicine den. She'll be in there if she's back from gathering herbs. If not, you'll have to wait. I'm not escorting you all over the territory looking for her. Thanks. Elderpaw made a face at the Shadow Clan apprentice as she stalked away, then crossed the clearing to the medicine den. He could smell the warm, familiar scent of Leafpool as he approached, and the scent of freshly picked herbs. She must be back. Leafpool! He stuck his head inside the den and saw her crouched beside Puddlepaw. This is Tansy and this is Horsetail, she told the young apprentice. Tansy is good for coughs. Horsetail is good for infected wounds. Surprise flashed beneath Elderpaw's pelt. Was she still teaching him simple facts like that? She looked up, purring as she saw him. Elderpaw, I thought I'd missed you. Grassheart said a ThunderClan patrol stopped by while I was out. They're waiting for me at the border, Elderpaw explained. I came back because Jayfeather wanted me to speak with you before we left. He glanced at Puddlepaw. He wanted a few words alone with Leafpool, without the apprentice overhearing. Leafpool seemed to guess. Let's go outside, she told him, then turned to Puddlepaw. I want you to split all the herbs we gathered today into separate piles. Puddlepaw stared wide-eyed at the heap in front of him. Elderpaw felt a wave of sympathy, suddenly remembering his first days in the medicine den. He thought he'd never learned the name of every herb. Leafpool shooed Elderpaw backwards and slid out of the den. She stood close to him in the easing rain. I know it was foolish to gather herbs on a day like this. She shook out her wet pelt. They'll take forever to dry, but I smell cold weather on the way. I want to get ShadowClan stores as full as possible before Leaf Bear. Worry darkened her gaze. StarClan knows how they'll make it through. Is Puddlepaw a quick learner? Alderpaw asked hopefully. Leafpool sighed. He tries his best, but half the time he still can't tell a herb from a weed. But you've been training him for half a moon. How much longer would she have to stay? He's young, and I'm not sure he was ever cut out to be a medicine cat. He has no dreams or visions. He says he wanted to be a warrior like his littermates until Rowenstar told him he would be a medicine cat. Aw, dang. That sucks. Worry tightened Alderpaw's belly. Do you think ShadowClan has chosen the wrong cat to be their medicine cat? I don't know if there's a right cat in the whole of ShadowClan. Leafpool fretted. No wonder Little Cloud never chose an apprentice. The whole lot of them are only interested in hunting and fighting. She shook her head wearily. It seems so unfair. StarClan has given us 3 medicine cats, and ShadowClan only has Puddlepaw. Alderpaw gazed at her anxiously. Will you be coming home soon? Of course. Leafpool glanced back towards the medicine den as though she was worried about how Puddlepaw was managing without her. I want to spend Leaf Bear in this gloomy place. They're treating you okay, though, aren't they? They're treating me fine. Leafpool blinked at him reassuringly. I always have first pick of the fresh kill pile. Everyone is very polite. I get along fine with Grassheart. Her kits are adorable. What about Violet Kit? Alderpaw knew she was safe from the rogues. But he remembered how upset she'd been when she'd have to leave her sister in the woods. Was she happier now? Is she okay? Can I go and visit her before I leave? I promised Twig Kit I'd check on her. Leafpool glanced distractedly towards the medicine den. I don't see why not, but I can't come with you. I have to help Puddlepaw. He's probably put the nettles with the watermint in the same pile again. Pelt ruffling, she turned to go. As she headed towards the den, she turned. Thanks for coming. Please tell Jayfeather I'm fine and I'll be back as soon as I can. Alderpaw blinked at her fondly as she disappeared into the den. Then he padded towards the nursery. Beepaw and Strikepaw had finished practicing battle moves and were watching him through narrowed eyes. Would they question where he was going? Alderpaw! A familiar mew sounded from the camp entrance. Needlepaw's scent reached his nose. Hi! He turned to meet her, purring. She bounded across the clearing. Where were you? Alderpaw asked as she slid to a halt beside him. She stared at him. What do you mean? Does she realize she's shifting back and forth on her paws like she's feeling restless or guilty? You weren't with Tawny Pelt or in camp when we got here. Alderpaw felt suddenly awkward, as though he was prying. I just wondered where you were. I was in Two-Leg Place, she told him quickly. You know how I like the taste of kitty pet foods sometimes. Alderpaw blinked at her. Yeah, but you're usually not so quick to admit it. Besides, she smelled of freshly killed prey. He narrowed his eyes. Why was she acting so strange? Needlepaw changed the subject. Yarrapaw said she came with you. You came with your clanmates to hunt for rogues. Did you find any? No. Alderpaw looked at her. She didn't seem herself. Something had ruffled her fur. He wondered with a purr which part of the warrior code she'd been breaking this time. He leaned closer and nudged her teasingly. What have you been up to? Oh my god, I bet she's seducing that cat. That cat she was moseying with. She was getting close to that time ago. Oh, I have to sneeze. It's coming. My sneeze. It'll be nothing like the Thunder heartbreak, though. Thunder's heartbreak was crazy. Needlepaw bristled. Nothing, she snapped. What's with all the questions? I'm sorry. Her sudden temper startled Alderpaw. Shame surged through him. Had he tried to be too familiar? But they were friends, weren't they? Had she forgotten their journey together or finding the kits? Perhaps she didn't see him as anything. Wait, like adopted father like son. I just realized that Clear Sky seduced both Greywing's crush and his son's crush. That's crazy. What a stud this guy is. Who of Grey Wings crushes? True. That is true. Confused, he glanced towards the nursery. Can I speak to Violet Kit? If you want to. Needlepaw shrugged and headed towards the prickly entrance. Alderpaw followed, not sure what to make of Needlepaw's mood. Violet Kit! Needlepaw called through the opening. Someone wants to see you. The brambles rustled, and Violet Kit scrambled out. Her eyes lit up as she saw Alderpaw, then scanned around him. Is Twigkit with you? She asked excitedly. She's not allowed to come out of camp yet, Alderpaw reminded her gently. But she came... Needlepaw nudged the kit playfully. That's our little secret, remember? Violet Kit blinked at her guiltily. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. She clamped her jaws shut. Needlepaw nudged her again with her nose. You're such a toad brain. Violet Kit nudged her back. You're such a toad brain. You remember when we played hide and pinecone and you took a whole day to find it? How could I? You hid it under Kingfir's nest. Needlepaw purred. That old flea bag was sitting on it like forever. Alderpaw swallowed back up her. He was happy to see the closeness between the two cats. Violet Kit wasn't alone in ShadowClan after all. It was good to see Needlepaw behaving more like the friendly cat who'd traveled with him on his quest. Violet Kit turned to him, her eyes round. How's Twigkit? She's fine, he told her. She sends her love and wanted me to check that you're okay. I'm great. Violet Kit looked fondly at Needlepaw. I really like ShadowClan now. Needlepaw's teaching me how to hunt. I caught a moth yesterday. Needlepaw purred. I still miss Twigkit, though, Violet Kit added. She misses you, too, Alderpaw told her. Violet Kit! Pine Nose's stern mew sounded from inside the nursery. Come in out of the rain. I don't want you catching a cold. You might spread it to Grassheart's kits. Violet Kit's shoulders drooped. I have to go. She turned towards the entrance. Tell Twigkit I've kept her feather safe. I sleep with it every night. Alderpaw purred and touched his muzzle to her head before she climbed into the nursery. As she disappeared, Alderpaw blinked at Needlepaw. Perhaps we can get them together again soon. Twigkit keeps asking. Another nighttime meeting would do both kits good, and it would be nice to see Needlepaw without the gaze of the other ShadowClan apprentices scorching his pelt. I guess. Needlepaw sounded distracted. Her thoughts were clearly elsewhere. I'm sure Violet Kit will appreciate it. Alderpaw pressed. Yeah. Needlepaw's gaze met his, and yet he felt she wasn't really seeing him. Let's do that. She nodded and turned to leave. Soon? Alderpaw called after her. Soon, she answered without turning back. Alderpaw frowned and headed for the camp entrance. Bramblestar and the others would be waiting for him. It would be good to get back to camp and into a dry den, but he couldn't shake his unease. Soon? Why hadn't Needlepaw said when? Didn't she care if the kits met? She must. Needlepaw seemed genuinely fond of Violet Kit. Perhaps she doesn't want to see me anymore. Disappointment weighed his paws like stone as he trudged through the pine forest towards his clanmates. Perhaps the friendship they forged on their journey was over now that they were back with their clans. It's not that deep. Yeah, Alderpaw, she's just sneaking out to meet with the rogues. That's definitely what she's doing. Chapter 5. Let's see how long this chapter is. Okay, this is a short chapter. I can read this chapter quickly. Last chapter of the day. Chapter 5. Violet Kit gazed across the den. Moonlight showed through the gaps in the brambles. Oh, it's Violet Kit POV. Violet Kit gazed across the den. Moonlight showed through the gaps in the brambles and dappled the fluffy pelts of Grassheart's kits. Snake Kit, Flower Kit, and Whirl Kit, still too tiny to play with, were snuggled together, a tangle of paws and tails, beside Grassheart's belly. Violet Kit sighed, her heart aching. She and Twig Kit used to sleep like that. Now she was alone beside Pine Nose, who was snoring. Am I the only one awake? She'd heard the night patrol come in not long ago and whisper a report to Crowfrost before retiring to their dens. She wondered if they'd found any sign of the rogues. In the days since Bramblestar's visit, rumors had spread through the clan. Dawnpelt had declared that they were just a pack of kitty pets looking for trouble. They'll get bored and go back to their cozy two-legged dens before long, she'd predicted. Violet Kit hoped she was right. The thought of strange cats roaming the forest made her nervous. No cat had stirred since the patrol had gone to bed. A fox had screeched in the distance, and Whirl Kit had lifted his head sleepily, but he'd only yawned and tucked himself deeper among his littermates before falling asleep again. Violet Kit longed to cross the den and curl up beside them, but she didn't want to upset Pine Nose. She knew that the queen did her best and was patient and caring as she could be, but she suspected that Pine Nose's paws itched to be out in the forest again, hunting with the other warriors, now that her own kits had moved to the apprentice's den. Whirl Kit? Whirl Kit. It's WHORL. Whirl Kit? Whirl Kit? Whirl? Yeah. So close something I needed. I have no idea. How to pronounce whirl. Whirl.
Whorl.
Whirl.
Whorl.
Whirl. Hi, Volk. Thank you for the follow. Whirl. Whirl Kit. Why can't I move to the apprentice's den? Hi, Jane. She guessed the other cats wouldn't approve. She was barely 3 moons old, but Needlepaw, her only real friend, was in the apprentice's den. She imagined with a purr how much fun it would be to curl up in the nest beside Needlepaw. They could talk all night if they wanted, or play moss ball or share a mouse while everyone else slept. It would be great. A pair of eyes shone through the nursery entrance. Violet Kit lifted her head sharply, her hackles lifting. Then she smelled the familiar scent of Needlepaw. Had her friend been thinking about her too? Excitement tingled in her paws, and she wriggled forward and slithered, quiet as a snake, out of the nest. Needlepaw? She hissed. Quick, come outside! Needlepaw whispered back. Violet Kit pricked her ears happily. Were they going to go on another nighttime adventure? Her breath caught in her throat. Were they going to meet Twig Kit? She nosed her way through the entrance. The well-trodden brambles smoothed beneath her paws and dropped onto the ground outside. Stars sparkled in the wide black sky like dew on soft pelt. The moon shone, blanching the clearing with crisp light. A chill cut through Violet Kit's fur, but she hardly felt it. Are we going out of the camp? She whispered to Needlepaw. Needlepaw swished her tail along Violet Kit's spine. Yes. Violet Kit watched Needlepaw's green gaze flick past her. She followed it, stiffening, as she saw another she-cat standing in the shadows. Her yellow fur shimmered, ghost-like, in the gloom. I still don't see why we have to take her. Sleekpaw. Oh, it's the kit. I still don't know why we have to take her. Sleekpaw. Violet Kit shivered as she recognized the apprentice's mew. There was scorn in it. Sleekpaw had never even looked at Violet Kit before, stalking past her as though walking past stale fresh kill when she passed her in camp. She stared at her now, and Violet Kit fought the urge to back away. Spite glittered in the older cat's gaze. Confused, Violet Kit looked back at Needlepaw. I don't understand. Is Sleekpaw coming to meet Twigkit too? Sleekpaw tipped her head sideways. Is that what you normally do? She stared questioningly at Needlepaw. Needlepaw flicked her tail. Maybe? Really? To me, in my head, they're just a bunch of mean girls. Violet felt a shiver of unease as Sleekpaw spoke. The Yellow Apprentice made the words sound like a threat. Needlepaw lashed her tail. Don't be such a foxheart, Sleekpaw. I asked you to come with me tonight because I trusted you. Sleekpaw's expression changed, like dawn breaking through darkness. Of course you can trust me. I love sharing secrets. She glanced at Violet, but can you trust her? Violet lifted her tail indignantly. Of course she can. I'm her friend. Sleekpaw's whiskers twitched with amusement. She thrust her muzzle close to Violet's. Then you'd better keep your mew quiet unless you're trying to wake up the whole camp. Come on. Needlepaw padded towards the narrow tunnel that led to the dirt place. Violet scampered after her. She wanted to ask again why Sleekpaw was coming with them, but Sleekpaw was close behind her. Needlepaw knows best, she reasoned. Perhaps it's in case we run into the rogues. Suddenly, she felt reassured. Of course, Sleekpaw was coming to protect them. She ducked through the tunnel after Needlepaw, her nose wrinkling as she smelled the dirt place. Outside, they veered away from it, following the track they'd used last time. Excitement twitched through Violet's pelt. She was gonna meet Twigkit again. They could play cat and mouse, and she could show Twigkit how much he's grown. Perhaps she's grown too. Needlepaw padded past a bramble and kept going straight. Violet frowned. They traced the curve of the brambles last time and crossed the ditches. Are we going the right way? She ventured uneasily. Are we going the right way? Sleekpaw mimicked her, squeaking like a kit. Embarrassment flashed hot through Violet's fur. Needlepaw glanced over her shoulder, exchanging a look with Sleekpaw. Worry twisted in Violet's belly. Was this a safer route to the ThunderClan border? She didn't dare ask in case Sleekpaw made fun of her again. They trekked on, Violet's paws growing tired. She half hoped that Needlepaw would offer her another lift on her shoulders, but pushed the hope away. Sleekpaw would mock her if she let Needlepaw carry her like a weak kit. Before long, the needles began to grow squishy beneath their paws, turning to mud as they headed further from the camp. Brambles turned to break in beside the trail. The trees crowded closer, blocking them out of the moonlight so that Violet had to open her eyes wide to see where she was going. Had Alderpaw suggested a new meeting place? Tiny Paws skittered over the path ahead. Needlepaw pricked her ears, her tail twitching. She bounded forward, and the break-in swished as she dived through it. Violet halted, her nose twitching as she smelled mouse. Sleekpaw stopped beside her and licked her lips as she stared at the break-in. Needlepaw nosed her way out, a dead mouse dangling from her jaws. Nice catch. Sleekpaw padded towards her. She sniffed the mouse. Needlepaw dropped it. You want the first bite? She asked the Yellow Apprentice. Violet blinked at them in surprise. I thought apprentices were only meant to hunt for the clan. Sleekpaw snorted. Don't be such a clean paw. The rest of the clan is asleep, Needlepaw pointed out. I don't think they'd want us to wake them up for a morsel of fresh kell. Sleekpaw batted the mouse towards Violet. Let's pretend Needlepaw caught it for you. Your clan, right? Her eyes narrowed. Oh no, I forgot. You weren't even born here. She hugged the mouse back with a claw and took a bite. I guess I should eat it. Needlepaw bristled. Don't be mean. She tugged the mouse from Sleekpaw. Are you hungry? She asked Violet, dangling the mouse from her claw. No thanks. Violet shook her head. Her throat was too tight to swallow. She just wanted to get to Twigkit and Alderpaw. Sleekpaw was making her nervous. Are we nearly there? Needlepaw glanced around. Nearly. Violet opened her mouth to taste the air. I can't smell Alderpaw or Twigkit. Sleekpaw padded across the stretch of muddy earth and peered between the shadowy trees. The fur rippled around her spine. I smell them. Needlepaw pricked her ears. As she turned, her head followed Sleekpaw's gaze. The break-in rustled, and a long-furred gray tom leaped out. Fear shrilled through Violet. Rogue! She backed away, her heart pounding in her ears. Paw steps sounded behind her. She jerked her head around and saw a she-cat slide from the break-in, her dirty white pelt glowing in the dim moonlight. Beside her walked a long-furred black she-cat. They were under attack! A silver tom emerged and stepped beside the gray tom. I thought she wouldn't come. He eyed Needlepaw distrustfully. Of course she did. The gray tom brushed past the silver one and stopped in front of Needlepaw. She's brave for a clan cat. I knew it. Violet Kit froze. Panic gripped her chest. She glanced at Sleekpaw. Was there going to be a fight? But Sleekpaw watched the rogue calmly, her pelt smooth. Needlepaw. The gray tom's eyes sparkled as he spoke. How does he know her name? Needlepaw dropped her gaze. Hi, Rain. She's acting shy. Oh my god, this is like girls being groomed. A shock washed over Violet Kit like cold water. Needles showered from the pine above. She looked up. A shape moved along a branch, then slithered down the trunk and landed on the ground. Hi, Darktail. Needlepaw nodded to him. Violet Kit saw the muscles rippling beneath his pelt. She began to tremble. Why have Needlepaw and Sleekpaw come here? How does Needlepaw know these cats? Are these the cats who attacked Wind Clan? The words tumbled out before she could stop them. Behind her, the tom purred with amusement. Wind Clan attacked us, Darktail growled. Violet Kit wanted to race to Needlepaw's side, but her paws felt rooted to the earth. She gazed at Darktail, fighting back terror. Of course they did. Needlepaw swished her tail. Clan cats are so defensive. Needlepaw was acting like they were friends. Suddenly, Violet Kit understood, and disappointment swamped her. We didn't come here to meet Twig Kit. We came here to meet them. Sleekpaw hooked a leaf idly. Clan cats don't like to share their land with anyone. They want all the prey for themselves, Rain sneered. Violet Kit realized that all the cats were staring at her. Did they expect her to say something bad about the clans too? Is this the Kit you told us about? The silver tom padded towards Violet Kit, his eyes flashing with curiosity. Yes. Needlepaw strode past him and stood beside Violet Kit, her chin high. This is Violet Kit. The silver tom sniffed Violet Kit. She smells like a clan cat. Thought you said she wasn't one of you. Violet Kit stared at Needlepaw in disbelief. Did she really say that? She's been living with us, Needlepaw told him. She glanced at Violet Kit. This is Roach, she said, nodding to the silver tom. That's Rain and Darktail. Violet Kit followed her gaze to the gray tom and the white one. And that's Silt and Raven. Needlepaw introduced the she-cats. Violet Kit swallowed. Why are they here? Darktail sat down. We have to live somewhere. Pine Nose says you don't belong by the lake, Violet Kit whispered. Darktail snorted. Pine Nose sounds like a greedy cat who wants all the prey to herself. She's not. Violet Kit mewed defensively. Darktail ignored her and looked at Needlepaw. You were right. There is lots of prey here. We're gonna grow fast. We're gonna grow fat. Are you gonna stay here? Violet Kit could hardly believe her ears. Roach narrowed his eyes. Is there any reason why we shouldn't? Violet Kit's fur prickled with fear. The she-cat was staring at her as though she were prey. This is clan territory, she whispered hoarsely. Needlepaw flicked her tail irritably. Why shouldn't we share it? Why do clan cats behave like they're so special? They're just cats, like these cats. Violet looked at the dark-eyed rogues. They're nothing like clan cats. Sleekpaw stepped forward. No kid can help where she's born. Why should the clans deprive other cats of good hunting just because they weren't born in a clan? Darktail's gaze flickered over Sleekpaw. Who's this? Needlepaw dipped her head. Sleekpaw, I told her about you and she wanted to meet you. Can we trust her? Rain patted closer, pelt prickling. Sleekpaw raised her muzzle. Of course you can, she declared. I think the clans are wrong, too. All their borders and rules just make more battles. She nudged Violet. Violet stared at her, surprised. You weren't born in a clan, Sleekpaw told her. Don't you think it's weird having so many rules? Before Violet could answer, Silt leaned forward. If you weren't born in the clan, why do they let you live with them? Violet blinked at her. I don't know. Darktail stared at her. What's it like living with clan cats when you know you're an outsider? Anise tugged at Violet-Kit's belly. She wanted to be loyal to ShadowClan. She thought of Tawnypelt and Puddlepaw. What would Rowan Star say if she knew she was here? He was stern and distant, but she wanted to earn his respect. I guess it's okay. She tried not to remember how lonely she felt in the clan, how Pine-Nose's kits ignored her, how she wasn't welcome near Grassheart's kits in case she passed on an infection. They try to make me feel welcome. Her breath caught in her throat. Don't they? Darktail leaned closer. And yet you don't. Violet backed away. How does he know? Needlepaw patted around Darktail, her chest puffed out. Rowan Star makes rules about who's allowed in the clan and who isn't, but he's old and set in his ways. He needs to learn that we're all just cats. We all want the same thing, to hunt and live in peace. But he's so busy defending his borders, he's forgotten that. Violet-Kit's thoughts whirled. Needlepaw sounded so certain. Was she right? They were all just cats. Perhaps the cats were wrong. They acted like rogues were no better than foxes just because they came from outside the clan. But she's not really one of us, is she? Oh, but she's not really one of us, is she? As she remembered Ratscar's words, a thought flashed through her mind, chilling her to the bone. Is that how they all see me? She stared at the rogues. Does ShadowClan think I'm like them? Bum, bum, bum. This plot is similar to Dawn of the Clan plot. But then again, they can only come up with so much conflict in clan cats. Especially without going totally like superpower. If they haven't got an enemy that's been brewing, like they had with Hawkfrost and Tiger Star, they have to source their bad guys. And they already got Dark Forest deleted. So that issue is done. Have they ever talked about the higher power other than StarClan? Like, wait. Oh! I don't think they dropped it. Wasn't it just like a time loop? I can't remember. It was so long ago. It was like something they saw, right? Do you remember someone saying they don't even know where the signs come from? Well, there was that whole time loop scene where the badger, what's her name? Midnight Soul, and Jay Feather was there, wasn't he? At the time? And They like gazed into a pool and saw everything that was going to happen. And so their prophecies were just things that they knew were gonna happen. Right? I can't remember it completely. I just remember talking about how it was all a big time loop. Like they had seen that the cats were gonna go to the lake already before the cats even existed at the forest. Like when they were still tribe cats. I feel like um um I did! I want them! I can't believe like they're never selling these things in Canada. I should add them to my throne. Where do you buy them? Can you buy them on Amazon? Or on the Warrior Cat site? Or look at them! Rest of the world. Amazon has them? Oh Lord, I need them. Oh my gosh, Stanley Cup Warrior Cat? Sick. Why does Sandstorm look like that? Oh my god, they got Warrior Cat. Warrior Cats. Oh my god, there's a Snuggy blanket on the site. Aw. Kawaii. Desu ne. They have cat tags! Really? Heck yeah, the Polish artist is so awesome. E-gift card. Okay, I'm going to go... Is there an Amazon site for this stuff? Armor. Warrior Cat Flush? Cute! Mystery Plush series. Can I just add all of them on? Where's J Feather? I want one with J Feather in it. Blind box. Warrior class cat blind books. They're giving me a whole bunch of other blind boxes. Randomly selected. Firestar, Grey Stripe, Bramblestar, Brightheart, Scrooge, Yellowfang, Tallstar, Hawkfrost. I want J Feather. Firestar, Grey Stripe, Brightheart, Spotted Leaf, Silverstream, Cinder, Pelt, Yellowfang, and Scrooge. What the heck? Like all the medicine cats except J Feather. Excuse me. Shaking my head. I guess Leaf Pool is in there too. This one's cool. I'll add this one. Throne! And then I'll just add things from their actual site. Add a wish. Feast. It's currently unavailable? Oh, it is. Okay, we're going back to the actual site. Award-winning toys. Can toys get awards? Okay, let's add bundle of 3. The new prophecy. Collect all 3, bundle of 3. Is that like all of them? I get all of them? Throne. Okay, now this one. Why does Sandstorm look like that? That's what I'm saying! Did I say that out loud when I saw her? It looks so funny. This gift isn't verified in your country. Okay, so I went and I said, I want to go to the store in the rest of the world. Right? And it's saying, it seems you're in Canada. Redirect to the US store? Is that like... Are we the same or no? I don't know. I'm just gonna do it this way because it makes more sense to me. I think it's the same thing. Perfect, beautiful. Wonder how much shipping is. We have new prophecy, and then we have prophecy begins. Odds and ends. Yeah. And now I will... They have all these silly looking meow meows. Keychain. Diamond art! J Feather diamond art! Wow. 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 It's just their like funny little chibi they have for them, but still. I only stop for warriors on the Thunder Path. Classic. Good stuff. Odds and ends. Odds and ends. Days. J Feather. Wait, these are so cute actually. Brightheart Notebook. River Clan Beach Towel. ThunderClan Warriors get necklace. Oh my god, a clan charm bracelet. ThunderClan coin. Crazy. Ooh. Why is SkyClan's pin a tree? Shouldn't it be a cloud? Warrior cat beanie with cat ears. Ew. J Feather enamel pin. It's on a wait list. No, I don't remember. It was so long ago. But I guess you're right. Or I guess Sky Clan, yeah, Clear Skies Clan, they climb trees. Wow, I should get this clan pin badge set. Looks like Pokemon. I conquered all the clans. Bah ha ha. Oh my god, all of the Warrior Cat bookmarks have like facts on the back. That is so cute. Bag tag. How come there's a gray stripe bag tag? You can get a Warrior Cat Scratch Cat backpack. The mug. I haven't gotten there. I'm in the accessories. Oh, next page. These are like wait lists. Whoa. Little charm bracelets. J Feather compact mirror. Bundle of 3 Firestar Gray Shape and J Feather. They know what we want. And what we want is J Feather. This is what is the cats on this A5 notebook? It's like Firestar, J Feather, and then 2 cats. I don't know who they are. Okay, let's go to homeware. Whoa, the Brightheart mug is funky. It's actually, I don't mind it. I think it's cool. I wouldn't drink out of it, but it's cool. I would put things in it, like in the example. I would not drink out of it. Pillows. Wow. Rusty Firepaw, Fireheart, Firestar. J-Kit, J-Pod, J-Feather. Ooh, blankets. Toys and plushes. Frostpaw. How come they have Frostpaw, but they don't have, J-Feather? Explain this to me. Come into my room and tell me why. There he is. J for the Gray Stripe Firestar. Join waitlist! Stinky. Oh, look at these guys! They're so cute. Ah, I love these little chibis. Still no. Guys, I want the... Ooh. Gray Stripe and J Feather. These are so hard to... Wait, are the ones that I... No, they are on sale. What the heck? I'm confused. Who the heck? Maple Shade looks so funny. Oh my god. She's such a little weirdo. Brambleclaw and Squirrelflight. Squirrelflight is very cute. Stormfern, Tawny Pelt. Oh my god, Crowfeather? Crowfeather's head is so funny. He looks just like how, like he's clearly more defined than the other ones. Like his head and his body is so tiny. That is so funny. Brightheart and Yellowfang. Firestar and Squoods. Right, Berryheart and Splashtail's crazy. 1 star and Darktail. Something's happening there. Can't get any of these funny little guys. I can't find these charms. I wanted triumphs. I only see graced white. There's an enamel pin for him, but it's on a wait list. Oh, there's the bag tag, but that one's also on a wait list. So it's like I see. I see. Now available in the UK. Well, you suck. I want them here. Amazon.com. We'll stay on this. Warrior cat blind bag. Yeah. I may as well just add them all, you know? Oops, I don't want that. Beep 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 boop beep beep boop 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 boop. Wait, what did it just say? Did it just say it wasn't available in my country? Amazon.ca. Whoa, I just made my browser bigger. Okay. Warrior Cat Mystery Blind Box. There we go. Yeah, let's go! Add to wish list. This one's not a payout. This one will actually be sent to me. I should add like a few of them actually. Because there's multiple. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'll do 8. I'm gonna get Brightheart? Why? Is Brightheart like the most common one? I can't wait to have 8 Brighthearts. They're tempting me by showing me cute blind boxes, but I have a better site to get blind boxes from that I forgot and I don't have saved anywhere, but I bought from once, so it should be in my history. What did I buy from there? Oh yeah, my cute little guy. My silly little fella. Deco pin badges. Now the deco pin badges do look like more like badges from Pokemon. Okay. Wait, I should no wait. That one's fine. Okay guys, thank you for hanging out. I want this set. I have to add some people onto my reference letter thing so that I can bring that in for my interview. Okay, my beautiful little Papa Cubs. I had a dream that I was getting like way more viewers than I usually get for like consistency, like CCV, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. That's not gonna happen on a Warrior Cat Day, but I feel like it was prophetic, something like that. I think I might go to the store and buy myself a soda pop. My beautiful. I should have like a drinking stream one day where I'm drinking and I lose my mind. I think it'd be fun. But I can't do that now because I'm busy. Oh! So, tomorrow, I think it'd be funny all doing anything. I think it'd just be funny. So stream, 3D stream, VR stream tomorrow, I think, if I can work it. Warlock, we were talking about it earlier, remember? I'm a affectionate. Goofy. Goofy goober. No, not to tomorrow. I mean, I guess I could technically, but no, I shouldn't because I have an interview on the next day. I'm extra goofy, super goofy, plus ultra goofy. I'm going to stream tomorrow VR. I'll stream on Friday, hopefully to tell you guys what happened, and then on. I don't know if it's for Dun's birthday. I don't know if he's only having me and Seren there or if it's a lot of people, like just people can come visit, but it is for his birthday, so it's not a me event, it's a him event. So, yeah, and then V-Gala is all what we're going to be doing for the next week. On Saturday, V-Gala starts, and then apologies. If I get the cheese job, I hope that you guys all say a whole bunch of cheese jokes all the time. V-Gala. Unless I die in V-Gala, then it won't be all of them. I'm not gonna do that. I did split second think of that while after Warlock said apologies. I was like, what if I said cheese to meet you? But I was like, no, it's too much. It's too cringy. Cheese to meet you. Say it like so smoothly, it's like it like blends in, you know? Like it's like that's just a normal thing that I say. I was cheese to meet you. I could, if the vibes are right, I might be able to say it when we leave. It was cheese to me. I was cheese to meet you. My apologies. I love cheese so much I got my words mixed up. You guys are silly. Okay, I'm heading off, you guys. I just noticed the Warrior Cat the Warrior Cat page is a W, and it looks so much like the W for wiki. So I'm like, why do I have a wiki page open for accessories to Warrior Cats? But it's just Warrior Cats! Stealth and secrets, speed and strength, courage and honor, skill and grace, wisdom and wonder. Bye-bye, my fine kitty cats. Love you. Bye-bye. Remember, seeing the good and things